This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Definitely not. What's going on, everybody? What up? How's everything? How's everybody? What's going on? Yo, I'm kind of hyped today because we have the man, the myth, the legend. His name is Parvision. Listen, I messed up on his introduction already, but I'll just do it again. It's starting to feel like as if this man needs no introduction. One, not only has he amassed 17,000 subs on YouTube, 800 followers on Twitter, joined the biggest One Piece Reverie with some of the biggest content creators, and happens to be featuring on everyone's channels more than Lil Wayne featured on tracks in 2008. He's a great guy, and it's an honor to be Nakama. What's most important is that he's remained consistent. He's one of the hardest working guys I know, and he continues to inspire me. Please, everyone welcome the mighty Parvision, and let's have a round of applause for his success, since we should always want to see our Nakama win.
Thank you.
Par, how are you?
I'm good. We had the Reverie last Friday, and I can't tell you, because like last week, the week before, we had the Voice of All Things like on my stream, and I brought you on to prepare me. I can't tell you how much that helped me, just in general, right? I had a bunch of collabs, like you were saying, the Randy Troy, Hidden Island, and then my talk with you was super, super helpful. For one, we had a 5-hour stream, and then the Reverie was 10 hours, and I was like, this is
Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So, like you said, I'm here now once a month almost.
It seems like it. It does seem like it. I think last episode was episode 49.
Yeah. What chapter did we do before that?
Oh man, I can't recall.
Yeah, it's you would have to go to
SGG says Par lives on top, rent free.
But anyway, just to do our introductions, my name is Larry.
Lawrence. Seb.
He didn't exist. And this is not One Piece Talk, where we talk One Piece.
I used to be a last one.
So for announcements for us, because we just hyped Parvision to the ultimate high.
Thank you.
We are 30 subs away from 3,000 subs on YouTube.
Hey.
We now have reached 21.4K followers on TikTok, and we had a video reach 200,000 views. We are now 40 members. Yo, chill with the kids, man. We are now, because I can't hear myself. We are now 40 members away from having 700 members in our Discord, where Par's actually catching up. I think Par, you're like 500 and something.
I think 500.
Yeah. Par's going up. And to our audio-only listeners, they keep going up. Love to see it. We now sit at 926 people who tune in weekly. Just know we go live on our YouTube on Mondays at 6 p.m. like 90% of the time.
Continues to be the easiest way to just get information central.
So that was Lawrence.
What was that?
Yo, turn your phones off, bro.
Yo, what was that?
All right. Anyway, to our audio listeners, we are live most of the time, 90% of the time, at 6 p.m. on Mondays, if you want to call it. So yes. And if you want to support us, please like the video. It helps us tremendously. Also, for Parvision, if you want to go to his, did I mention your VODs channel and all that stuff or no? Did I mention it?
No, yeah.
All right, so all of the links to Parvision are in the description below. So his main channel, his VOD channel, his Twitter, his Twitch, his Discord, and I don't know what else.
No, that covers everything.
That covers everything, right?
I mean, if you guys join their Discord, join our Discord. It's like this. We have people coming back. Yeah,
subscribe to Par's OnlyFans.
Coming soon. Come close to the mic. All right. Yeah, I got you.
He only shows his feet. That's it. So if you want feet pics of Par, it's definitely there. That's how he's became this hardworking. He's like,
How do y'all think
it supports everything I do.
How do y'all think he affords these turtlenecks, man?
Yeah.
It's the OnlyFans.
Low key, my TikTok's getting pretty spicy, right?
It's because your Vod's channel, you be like, I'm searching for the DD.
It's funny, I could do that because I'm married, right? I've had people come from my TikTok and they're like, "Yo, are you like good?" Like, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm married. I have to show my ring and everything." So,
we met Mrs. Vision today.
Yeah, I thought she was fake until I met her today.
She was so excited to come through. She's like, "Wow, I get to come to the podcast."
Yeah, and she's very kind.
Yes,
she's very kind immediately
friendly,
off the jump.
Very friendly.
I went in for a handshake and she was like, "Nah, bring it in." I was like, "Okay." But it's glad to know she exists, Par.
Yeah. She's heard about all of you guys and like obviously seen all of you guys too because she watches the videos. I'm sure she's like lurking in the chat right now.
So let me ask you this before we go into the main questions of the show.
Yeah.
What is it like for her to see the amount of success that you've received within such a short period of time? Because like it's been said, right? You weren't at the last Reverie. You showed up at this Reverie.
Yeah.
And now she's seeing all this, I guess, I don't know, like your influence and your talents be like appreciated. How does she feel on that end?
It's pretty interesting for her because she doesn't watch One Piece, right? But once I started the channel, she wanted to start like on her own. Like for the longest time when we were dating or whatever, I'd be like, "Yo, let's watch One Piece, whatever."
Yeah.
But it never, it was whatever. But then once I started the thing, she's like, "Wow, like this many people, like this show has to be crazy." And so just by me making the videos, that made her interested because she wanted to understand why everybody was like saying so many kind things or like watching. And I think in terms of the growth, she was just kind of like just baffled, I guess. Like, I mean, the same way I was because like I never knew there was an anime community to this extent. Same thing, she never knew either. So like the growth, it was one thing for it to like be on TikTok, on YouTube, and you kind of like expect it to like plateau, but like it's just constant growth, and it doesn't feel like it's stopping. And she's just kind of like, do whatever it takes, do whatever you want. Like I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool. It's definitely, I think it's a fun thing for her because she's always wanted to be more involved in anime stuff and like manga stuff, but she never really had like Game of Thrones and all like these other things. There's like fandoms and worlds, and it goes viral on Twitter and stuff like that. And the anime stuff is kind of like, it's not behind closed doors, but to get on like anime Twitter, and it's a different side of things. It's not always trending on everyone's stuff.
Yeah.
So then now she's starting to enter the space. Like she's watching like Spy Family and like Promised Neverland, like the Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer was really great. She really liked Death Note, so I try to get into like the OG stuff too, so that like she's not spoiled by like Demon Slayer level animation, that kind of stuff. So and what's crazy was we started watching One Piece, and like I thought the first few episodes would be like turn off, but
because they're not. It's very hard to get into the beginning
but
of One Piece.
she really enjoyed even the filler stuff.
What?
How
far is she? How far did
she got to like we passed Treasure Island.
I thought he was about to say Zoe. I was like,
yeah, he was about to say Zoe.
No. We passed Zoro's backstory. It's episode 19.
Okay.
Then I think Treasure Island, something like that. So then, and like whenever Luffy does something goofy on screen, and I'm like a little cringe, like I'm worried, like oh no, she's not gonna want to watch. She's like, she starts laughing. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. so it's definitely a fun thing to like it increases our bonding. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Par's like love for his wife is going up.
It's like she's really digging it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you said it too, like the Nakama thing, like having friends. I think a lot of the viewers too, it's like being here in this conversation is such a like important thing. That's why we tune in every week. That's why we talk on the Discord. It's to have this community, have this friendship. So anybody, it just having a friend that you can talk One Piece with is just puts it above another stage, another level, right? Like for the fact we talk for 2 hours on the podcast, but then afterwards we go to dinner and we talk 3 hours with Larry shouting. And I don't know if we ever said this story, but Larry, like we got this restaurant, right? And we're
It was
eating.
Houlihan's.
Yeah, and Larry's shouting, and everybody's just like looking at us and like.
Wait, who was I arguing with? It was
It
Sebastian.
was like all of us,
It
bro.
was everything, right?
It's always me against the world.
And what was hilarious was there was a few people who were like, "What are you guys talking about? I'm so interested." And
It was the old guy
man,
behind
yeah.
us.
I went to the
And-
bathroom and he was like, I have to ask, what are y'all talking
He
about?
thanked us too. He's like, "That was so entertaining. I didn't understand a word of what you guys are talking about." And then when you told him, he was just like, "Oh, my like grandchild or like my kids might be into this." And like he literally thanked us for just being entertaining like at dinner. It was so
And
funny.
that's so crazy too. It's because when I started uploading and editing the TikTok videos way better, we started to get like this larger reception of people and audience that started to see what we were doing in a very quality way. And then all of a sudden people were like, "Yo, what is this show?" And it's just me and Sebastian going back and forth about, is Luffy greater than Robin? So it's I get it now. Like it's something I always knew about them because this is what they do. Like I just came into it it just the culture just adapted me.
Right.
But it was like I always want to show what One Piece truly is on the outside, and instead of people always getting this like one glimpse of like this geeky culture where like it's like no, like there's dudes out here who talk like first take.
Yeah.
Like about One Piece. And I can see like how people can have no idea about what we're talking about, but they're just so entertained by the passion and love that we have for such a thing that is literally a comic that they can't really comprehend it, but they go, "Wow, this is great."
Yeah, and we were at like a bar, and there was like I think there was an important game going on too, and like we were just louder than everything else.
I'm pretty sure it was NBA playoff time.
We had more passion. Like it was like we were talking about sports. That's what it was.
Yeah,
like we were
it's
talking,
really like that. Yeah.
and I think. Again, just that's why I have so much fun being here. I'll always be back if you guys have time.
You're always welcome, yo.
Love having you,
Dash, Hidden, Maj, come through, bro.
Yeah.
But
You gotta get Mosh on here, man.
yo, he said he wants to come next time Par is in. So whenever Par comes in again, we'll have Mosh on.
Yeah.
So let's say what's up to the chat, because we've been like avoiding the chat the entire time.
I haven't. No, I'm kidding.
So what's up, chat?
Yeah, man, we got so many people in here. Peter Keenan, Scooter, Parvision's in the chat somehow. Chavian, Bashoman, Apollo D. Human, Chris, Jamal D, KJ, SGG, United States of Blurred, Oscar Lopez, Phantom Greyfire. Phantom Greyfire's in everybody's stream somehow. I don't know how he does it.
Phantom Greyfire is a legend.
Yo,
Every stream,
he's
bro.
really a legend. His hard work is very
It's
noticeable.
wild. Mosh is here. Miguel, so many of y'all. Shadow. Oh man, I can't pronounce that one. Peter Keenan, Void, Peace God, Demolia Akinola. I tried it. Hopefully that was correct.
Well, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us on the episode today. I know that we're 13 minutes in, and we just happen to ramble on, but we're just doing what we love. So
Larry,
it's going to happen.
Joshua in the chat, man.
Hey, what's up, Josh? So let's get into some questions, like for what I prepared, because there is some important news that I think we should be talking about right now, according to the Road to LaughTale Volume 3. Like, I didn't get to really dissect it how I wanted to because I was just like, yo, I'm doing too much editing.
Yeah.
Like, I need to just take a break. Same with Par, because you didn't do a stream on Sunday.
Yeah. It was just after Reverie, I was just like, yo.
Yeah, you had to, like, cut things off. So here's the first question and first revelation to everybody. So during the Road to LaughTale, Volume 3, which was translated by TCB Scans, they clarified some very important information about the mythical Hito no Mi Zoan fruit model Nika. They emboldened the statement, I quote, "an 800-year-long gap between awakenings." Then furthered this by saying this particular fruit hadn't been awakened in 800 years, but when it was, its alternate name became clearer, indicating that the only way you can become Joy Boy is by having the Nika fruit. What do you guys think about this, and what does it say to you? And we'll actually give it to Par, since it's special guest.
So I think that the whole Joy Boy thing is pretty interesting, right? Because now we have like a more clear line that Luffy from the start was on this path. And you know, I think on TikTok this is more the dialogue around it. It's like in the first chapter, I think the very end of the first chapter, it says like Luffy embarks on his journey of destiny or something along those lines. That's kind of what it was. So it's like, you know, in terms of it was Luffy always going to be this? Was it always going to happen this way? Did he not need to work hard? I don't think that's true. He had to work hard. We were on the path, right? What would have happened if he didn't work hard? He would have ended up like a previous person who might have had the fruit or might not have had the fruit. We don't know the exact lineage of, or not lineage, but history of what happened to the fruit after the Void Century, right? Like whether someone else ate it, whether it was hiding, whether the world government just never got their hands on it. Because it's funny that they say they never got their hands on it, but they did have their hands on it, right? So that kind of implies that they just didn't know that was it, right? But that doesn't mean that someone else didn't eat it before, or there wasn't powers like that present. And I think it gets a little bit confusing though. And I just talked to somebody about this. It was like, my understanding of the fruit was that, you know, Nika was probably the originator of the fruit. And Nika's lineage factor is what was extracted to create the fruit that Luffy has, right? And now where the title Joy Boy comes from, that was the epithet given to Nika. And it gets confusing though, because it's like, are we saying was Nika Void Century? How did they create devil fruits? Where did devil fruits come from? So still, like, the road to LaughTale, this thing, it still leaves more questions rather than answers. Mm-hmm. It does close the gap though, that like I think on our first episode we asked the question, like, you know, could this person have been Joy Boy? Could that person have been Joy Boy?
We said Ace.
Yeah, and that was the conversation. And I think a lot of the dialogue during that time in the community was like, could other people have been Joy Boy? I think I even brought up a point saying that like maybe a bunch of fruits could have had Luffy's voice in my head was just like, dang, what's going on? I think on the first time I came onto the show, I said that maybe multiple, like, other fruits could have led you to Joy Boy. Like, maybe Joy Boy's presence in a lot of fruits, and that, like, you know, we don't know the lore of the fruits, it's so interesting because now with the sun god thing, I think the biggest question is, are there other gods? Are there other Nikas? Are there, like, you know, there's a lot of people think there's Yonka, right? Other fruits like that, the rain god, earth god, forest god. Are these also like devil fruits too? And so again, there's more questions than answers when it comes to this, because now it's not like like something you achieve. It's something that you were given more so, or something that was present. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that for right now.
All right. What about you, Law? What do you think about this? And what does it speak to you?
So, my thought is, so like, you're saying that Joy Boy is the habitat, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, for example, Nika's his name, right? And then Joy Boy is like, Luffy's his name, Straw Hat, and then like Gold Roger's his name, Gold Roger, like that. Joy Boy's the habitat. Is that what it is? So it's confirmed that.
It's not confirming anything. It's just saying that this fruit hasn't been awakened for 800 years, and the previous person who did have it was the Joy Boy.
The original Joy Boy, yeah.
Okay, because that's what I was actually thinking. I have a few things, like, thoughts on that, right? Because what if it's like, for example, because Nika's supposed to be the sun god, right? Mm-hmm. What if, like, a fruit manifested from him somehow, right? And then the person who was able to awaken the fruit from that manifest state was Joy Boy. The next person was Luffy, right? So that would be separating Nika and Joy Boy, right? Mm-hmm. Like, the one who actually to awaken it was Joy Boy first. Like, he was the first person to awaken it, besides because it came from Nika, Right? So that's what I'm trying to ask. Is it a different person, or is it just that Nika gained the Hefetet Joy Boy?
Yeah, so that's where it's like up in the air, where like right now my assumption, just for story wise, because it feels like the next thing we're gonna learn about is the Void Century, right? But in your line of thinking, Nika would predate the Void Century, right? And that would just mean Oda would have to explain way more. So going to last saga the way we are, I feel like we're only going to be talking about the Void Century, right? It'd be I would love it if it extended out and we talked about before the Void Century.
That's what I was going to, yeah.
But I think narratively now we kind of have to just think that Nika, unless Oda could do something where we don't get into the full history of the devil fruits, we get like an understanding of where they come from. I maybe like actually I won't mention other animes, but like meaning that we get an idea that yes, Joy Boy in the Void Century had the fruit and Nika was a predecessor to it, right? Yeah. And then we briefly touch on where Nika originated from, but again that would create a more of a circle in the story than have a closed loop with the Void Century. Okay,
because that leads me to like, since it said 800-year gap, so now my question is, what does it take to awaken the ability? Because for 800 years no one was able to awaken it, because then that could tie into like how special Luffy is, that no one was able to do it until Luffy came.
Like I was trying to tell you last week.
But that's Lawrence. We don't know it yet, because it could be going, for example, like we have the candidates, right? But say like they had it, like you're trying to tell me, if just using him as an example, because the closest one to that before Luffy was probably Roger, right? Or Norland. Right? You're trying to tell me if they didn't have it, would they have not awakened the ability? I don't know the other people who had the ability who didn't get a chance to awaken the arc, because we have no history of the pressures of the rubber ability. But like Luffy, Luffy did it at such a young age, right? So it's like, was it because Luffy's will was so in harmony with this will that it awakened? Like, what is it? Well, why did it respond to Luffy in this way?
So, and I guess I'll just go now. With that ties into how similar are you to the abilities, like what it says in the first place. Like Luffy, I mean, granted, we saw him eat it really young, but the whole laughing and bringing joy, like that's kind of Luffy's MO. Whether he's like fighting or not, like it is kind of what Luffy is like in general. I don't know that Noland is encompassing that, is embodying that. Roger seemingly he could have, but to Larry's point, there's other Joy Boy candidates. I just wanted to say it didn't change much for me when I read this, because it's really just kind of information we kind of already had, as far as like we didn't know that somebody had the fruit 800 years ago specifically or anything like that, but it's like we had an idea that was the case, or that it was created, whatever it is. But like, I like your thought process about like Joy Boy is the epithet and Nika was the person. Like I like that if they're a pirate, that they had that name, you know? Mm-hmm. But in general, like again, like you were saying, it really just speaks to Luffy and what he was capable of doing. Now, as far as whether or not you need this fruit to be Joy Boy, that's the one thing where I'm like, I could have lived without that.
Same.
Personally. So I will acknowledge that, but I just don't think anybody could have gotten the fruit and done what Luffy did and then awakened it. Like they would have just probably died along the way or given up along the way or something. Something would have happened. Some element of it that needed to happen wouldn't have happened for them.
Yeah.
And maybe that's like destiny with Luffy, or it's just Luffy in general. But I just don't feel like Roger, sure, but then the timing just going to be off. Like either way, even if it wasn't Luffy, like even if somebody else did it, the timing would have ended up being off anyway. So the question is, does the timing matter too? You know? Mm-hmm. Like, does that matter? Yeah. Like if Roger did everything, it's like, the Mermaid Princess isn't alive. I don't think a Devil Fruit should have those conditions.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't think any other Devil Fruit has had those kind of requirements for awakening. But we don't know nothing about awakening. That's the real problem. We don't have enough info on awakenings. Yeah. So
that's true.
It's like it didn't change much for me. It was just interesting to read it.
So I just, before Larry goes, there was Big Jen had a comment. I won't read the whole thing, but it put an idea in my head. They said Luffy gave all Wano credit to Joy Boy. Mm-hmm. So Joy Boy might not be a person, but someone that all credit is given to. Mm-hmm. So, it might be, kind of like do we have an example in this story? Kind of like the boogeyman isn't a great example, but essentially, like, you know, maybe you were liberated on your country and you just gave credit to the Joy Boy, right? And so, you know, if you didn't want to get targeted, what you do is like, who liberated that? Joy Boy did. I didn't do it. Joy Boy did it, right?
Yeah.
So that might be another way around this whole concept where Nika might have been a Joy Boy, and then like other people took up the mantle of Nika and used the name Joy Boy. So like, what are we fighting for? Joy Boy, right? Like, so if I'm liberated, if you saw Nika liberate Dressrosa back in the day and you want to rile up another country, right, you'd bring up the concept of Joy Boy.
That's why par is par, bro.
No, you know what Parvision just said? That Joy Boy is One Piece. Because all these One Pieces fit into One Piece.
No, I mean, there's examples of that in the story.
One Piece
though.
Inception.
And I know you got to give your take on this, but it's like Luffy and Alabasta, where the credit went to Smoker, and even in Wano, they had the what do they call him? The Midnight Boy or whatever, who was stealing stuff,
The
and they
Switching
were
Boy?
putting
The
it.
Twitching-
Yeah, the Witching Hour Boy.
Yeah.
He was the one getting credit, but it was really Denjiro who was doing it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like he placed the credit on.
That was
This
a
is
good
this
one.
person doing this,
Right,
kind of
right.
thing.
That was
So,
a
and then
comic-
Yasue took the,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
That's also
yeah.
common because like a lot of stuff that Odin would do himself, he would not take the credit for. You know, you kind of blamed as the bad guy for it.
I mean, I can see how Joy Boy would be that. Yo, before I go, let's read some of those super chats.
Yeah, we got 2 super chats. One $5 super chat from Peter Keenan. It says, "What's up, gang? How high are your expectations for the next chapter? Predictions."
Mid. Lawrence,
Mid? An Admiral showed up.
Right.
I'm going high.
you going high?
Oh, it's about to be crazy.
I have high expectations.
Yeah.
I also have high expectations. Anytime an Admiral's on screen, it's going to be legendary.
There's no
As far as-
way
man.
Oda gives us a month break. It doesn't have heat
You know,
planned, bro.
I'm not going to say there's no way. I just don't think it's going to happen.
It's still Wano.
Predictions, though.
KJ became a member.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you,
got
KJ.
We got a
Thank you.
membership from
Appreciate
KJ.
that.
And we got a $20 super chat from Celestial Donkey. It says, "Buggy could have awakened the fruit."
No.
Oh, man.
Yo, I mean, I have
No.
my theory that Buggy awakened his fruits.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
All right.
No.
Wait, hold on.
Anyway.
What was that Street Fighter looking thing that popped
That
up?
was
think-
from Twitch.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. I got it taken care of. All right. So for me, I kind of like encompass everything you guys just said, but it still comes down to timing and fate for me. So the reason why I say this is because, yes, I do believe the previous Joy Boy had the Nika fruit. I think as long as you have the Nika fruit, you're going to be able to become the Joy Boy. But the other requirement, as Sebastian had said, was that what I was going to say, and it's timing. Why do I say timing? Is because exactly of what Oda Hime said, who's the queen of the Fishman Island, queen to Neptune, the king of Fishman Island. She said, you know, Joy Boy is a person that's directly linked with Poseidon. And Poseidon is somebody that happens to be reincarnated through different centuries through mermaids. And they can talk to the Neptunians, which allows her to control and destroy everything if she shall so. But Joy Boy himself is the one who will guide her to make whatever change she could make. So I was talking about with Par that Joy Boy could be either a bad person, like Blackbeard, and use the power for destruction, or be a good person and lead the world to a great positive change and use her power for good. So in my opinion, nobody at this point could have become Joy Boy unless they had the fruit itself. Why? The fruit has a will of its own. It chooses who it wants to be eaten by. It literally says the fruit has evaded the government itself in order to not be captured by the government, right? So Par brought up a good point. Well, they did capture it. It was in their hands and they lost it. Well, what if I was to say, well, the fruit used them in order to bring itself to Luffy?
Mm-hmm.
That in itself brings fate into the question of One Piece, also reincarnation into this point in One Piece as well. And it's like, we get back to that question, right? Like, yes, Luffy was always going to be Luffy, the same way conquerors are always given to people rarely and they're just born with it. They can't just have it. Maybe Luffy was born with something that Nika needed in order to become what it is right now. And granted, I can also say, well, Pirate Jesus, or I can just say, like, he was given this. But in actuality, maybe it's both. Maybe he earned it and he was given it.
Yeah.
And there isn't one way this way or one way that way. It's probably like right in the middle. And we have to come. I think I have to come to terms, and others have to come to terms that like Luffy did earn it, but he was also given it.
Yeah, it's supported by the fact that we see in the show like how convenient some of these fruit users are in terms of how well it matches their personalities, and we don't know how much the fruit changed that, or if the fruit chose them because they fit the personality, or if they ended up matching their fruit. There's like multiple ways you could think about it, but I think at the end of the day, when it comes to, I think that drop of like the Zoans having a will, that adds like another context to it, where it's like if the fruits themselves are trying to find people who are best suited for it, I kind of like that more than just like it randomly shows up, right? Like I think I have a video talking about like how you were asking how does Luffy awaken, right? And my current explanation is if it's reliant on your power, right? Like what power you have, and it requires you to really use your power the best way possible. And so with Luffy's power, a lot of people forget is like nobody, like there's not a single sane person in the show that could use Luffy's fruit the way he does, because you have to be willing to be hit. That is, if you're a rubber person. But like
I got pushed back on. That
but
part.
meaning like no. So what I'm saying is he would have been great with the rubber fruit, to be honest. But
I don't know how imaginative he would be.
Right, and so my point being is that like if you have the rubber fruit and you're dodging hits, you're using it wrong. You should be able to dodge. You should be able to take any blow, right?
Yeah.
And so that being said, what did Luffy get hit with right before he awakened? He got awakened with no defense, right? Because he got the CP0 guy like surprised him. His defenses dropped, so no defense. He took probably the strongest single blow you could equate in the entire verse, right?
Chill.
I think Kaido's Conqueror's Kanabo.
Calm down.
Is probably
that Big Mom and Kaido.
He's talking about singular person attack. It's still a kind of...
obviously Aokiji can terraform an entire island, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? But if we're talking about singular strength, one hit blow, unless we're talking about like Garp or something, right? Kaido probably has a very up there hit, top of the verse. I don't think there's probably that many people that can like
produce an impact as hard.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what that means is that Luffy, as a rubber person, finally took that hit, and then what did we see afterwards? Luffy got hit over and over again, and it did not matter. Why? That was important because it taught him, hey, I don't have to dodge these hits anymore. Now he's in Gear 5, he's finally using his fruit to the full capacity. We always thought, like, wait, he's rubber. Why doesn't he just mold to these hits?
Yo, I'm gonna be real. Kenny Moon should have had the Nika fruit.
It's funny, SGG just said it.
Because he could have survived that.
Kinemon took that.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
but Kinemon blocked it, though.
See,
he blocked it slightly.
So
Luffy just took it.
The pushback I have on that overall is like, how can I say it? It's like reincarnation plays too much of a factor.
Okay.
And I think that's what's kind of like triggering me, right? Because like a lot of people give flack for Ichigo being everything, right? Like he was just born with it against his will, but at the same time, like he's also given that. The fruit literally said, I'm going to avoid Roger because he was too early and Poseidon isn't born yet. And I'm going to avoid everybody else in that era and then make my way to somebody that I think will bring the best out of me.
Well, we don't know that.
It literally avoided the government. Like, it has a will of its own.
No, you said it avoided Roger. We don't know that.
It would have to.
Roger could have very much been like, oh, I don't want to eat a devil fruit.
But again, but the fruit at that point would be like, I know that Roger's going to say no to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just not going to eat me by chance, which will then go into play for the Yami Yami fruit. Now, it goes into question, like, if the Yami Yami is sort of strange the same way Luffy's devil fruit is sort of strange, does it have the same type of tendencies together? Like,
yeah,
I just think we need more info to be starting to claim reincarnation.
Yeah,
reincarnation's a thing with.
I don't know if we're there yet.
No, but it's there for Poseidon. Why wouldn't it be there for? It's a form of reincarnation, but it's not actually reincarnation. It's a form. Like, I'm not saying that, like, Poseidon has to literally be dead, and then it has to be born into somebody else, right? But the Nika fruit is like a physical item of reincarnation, where like that person's will is going to pass on to somebody else if they eat. And like, we don't know if Luffy's personality changed after he ate the fruit. or if it's intertwined with the fruit. I've said this before, but go Lawrence.
I'll say, but like one thing I'll say with the Poseidon thing, but have you noticed that it's all in that family line? So I wouldn't ever say it's reincarnation because
For
it's
the D-clan?
No, with the Poseidon, it's
Poseidon.
the mermaid princess's offspring.
family line.
Yeah.
So it's like I wouldn't say reincarnation. It's more like who got that gene in a way. You know how it can skip generations, a certain gene, but this one was born with it. So I feel like more like in that because it's only fitting in that family line. It's like who was being born with that gene. The mermaid princess now happened to be born with that gene, so she became Poseidon. And to me, for the Joy Boy thing, honestly, I'm gonna tie it all into for what I understanding it, especially what we think about what is kind of like the theme of the show, the theme of Luffy and the theme of Joy Boy. They all have one thing in common:
What's that?
freedom. So I'm believing what it took for like Luffy and the show, because we always talk about the show is basically everyone fighting for their form or their thought, their prospect of what freedom is for them. For Kaido, for Big Mom, for Gold Roger, for Luffy, everyone's fighting for their own freedom, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's your freedom against someone else's freedom. So there's a lot of times wars break up because my concept or my idea of freedom is different from yours. Mm-hmm. The world government, right? Their idea of freedom is controlling everything, right? So they can live free, but everyone else is controlled. We learned that from Doflamingo, right? So I was like, Luffy, right? We're talking about his strong will. Luffy's like his strongest will because like Luffy believes so strongly, right? He said, "I'm going to defeat Kaido because he wants everyone to eat." So Luffy's freedom is not just tied to himself; it's attached to everyone, right? Joy Boy Nika literally was a liberator to help people gain their freedom, right? So I'm not gonna say Gold Roger didn't have it, but we didn't see Gold Roger come up. But we see this is Luffy's freedom entitled, like even just not even wanting to know where Gold One Piece was because he wanted to be free to have his own adventure. Yeah. He wanted to be free to do whatever he wants. He wants to be free enough to be so strong where he can keep all his Nakama.
I get that.
So what I'm saying is, so Luffy's strong will and strong ambition tied to his freedom, right, that's basically Joy Boy's will because that's basically what Joy Boy was.
Yeah, you guys, chill out.
Thank you. Pretty much, right? So what I'm seeing is the Joy Boy freedom is like how he's liberating everything. Yeah. Right? It resonated with Luffy so much, so that I believe that's why Luffy was able to awaken it.
But this is where I get into the concept of like, okay, so what you're saying is 100% true. The fruit is all about freedom. Its literal ability is the
freest person. Yeah.
It's the freest thing that you can do. Just do it. Yeah. Like anything you think of, just do it. But what I'm trying to say is like at a certain point, did Luffy always feel that way, or did he just feel that way after he ate the fruit? Because before that, he didn't have the aspirations until after he met Ace and after Sabo, and they both said, "Oh, I want to go out to sea and become a pirate and have my own crew or whatever." Right? No. Like what happened after Luffy ate that fruit?
Well, remember this.
Guma came and ruined everything.
No. Because remember, Shanks met Luffy before he ate the fruit. True. Right? Luffy's been trying to get on Shanks' crew since the beginning. They first met. He even stabbed, because Luffy, before he got the fruit, he stabbed himself in the face. Right? Yeah. But Shanks kept saying, "No, you're too young." Right? So we saw Shanks. We didn't see Luffy much beforehand, but we saw Luffy a lot after he ate the fruit with Shanks.
And he had already made an impact on Shanks.
He already made an impact on Shanks. But we noticed what he told the Rayleaf. Right? We didn't hear any sign of when we saw them together, when they were together after he ate the fruit, of what Luffy said. So what Luffy could have said to Shanks that he told Rayleaf, "Yo, I met a young boy that said the same words as our captain." Right? Mm-hmm. That could have been before Luffy ate the fruit because we saw Luffy with him when he had the fruit, and we didn't hear that.
Yeah. And I would also add so I have a video, it's like the Lurking Legends, that's like the thumbnail for it. And so in there's that breakdown of what Luffy did prior to eating the fruit that makes it make sense to what you're asking, right? Like did Luffy change or
did the fruit choose him because it saw something?
Right. And one of the biggest points was that there was this kid who wanted to be a pirate so badly that he wasn't afraid to get hurt. He stabbed himself in the eye, and all the adults there were like, "This kid is crazy," right? And on top of that,
whose child is this? That's what I would
ask. And then after that, the whole scene after they go to the bar, and every single time Luffy interacts with someone, they smile. every word afterwards, smile. He talks to Shanks, the bunch of the crew, Ussop, then Ben Beckman.
This was before he ate the fruit?
Before he ate the fruit. Yep. And then after
I have to revisit that then.
So then
Chapter one.
right after Ben Beckman, I think is the last person he talks to. He smiles to I think Shanks gets a word in, and then the bandit comes in. And then during the bandit scene is when Luffy he's already full. He ate his entire meal, and then he's like, "Ooh, fruit!" And then he eats it while the bandit is doing his scene. And so, that point lends itself to the idea that you have to find yourself who's not only not afraid to get hurt, but willing to get hurt to forward his dream, to forward something. And so, that goes back to the whole idea where it's like, how many people would not be afraid to no defense take a Kaido conquer blow, right? Luffy didn't do it intentionally, but afterwards, he was getting hit in the face and it just molded to it. So you need to be able to use that power like that to be able to awaken it.
Listen,
I don't know about that.
I have no notes for that.
That just sounds like torture, bro.
No,
it's
but
the
but you gotta be
punishment fruit.
but
capable of taking it. And
you have
Luffy
to,
has shown
your
to this
willpower
point,
has to be strong enough to do that. Like, how many of us are willing to just take a flat ass blow from Lawrence in the face? None of us, right?
Do it, bro. I'll conquer that shit out.
Yo,
I dare you, bro.
We would not want to take that, but if the person who would be willing to do that is Luffy, right? Luffy.
You're gonna get the chat mad hype because they believe Lawrence has conquerors, bro.
I mean,
so chill out.
The other day we thought his Congress would break the table. Yo, but
so you think there's a damage accumulation that he had to reach specifically, or do you think just in general the willingness to take damage?
Yeah,
I think it's both of those things,
Okay.
and the important part is that's specific to that power. Each power has their own, just similar with Enma, the Sandai Cadets. There's different tests, right?
I feel like this is just a very complicated way of just saying plot.
I mean,
I'm so serious,
I'll be
bro.
honest. I don't think I've ever seen it articulated like this in this way.
No, I get it.
You know what
Like
I'm
I
saying?
get what Par's saying.
I get what you're saying and how it's plot, but it's like
It's like, yo, I'm trying to make sense of
the
plot.
rubber fruit is like
It's not even a rubber fruit anymore. It's imagination fruit. Whatever I think this fruit is, it becomes.
So, the biggest thing.
You think they have an assumption
They keep
fruit?
reiterating the point that it has the properties of rubber. They're not even calling it like the rubber fruit. They're saying the properties of rubber.
it, yeah.
So if you have the properties of rubber, you have to use it a certain. I bet you how many of us have thought why is Luffy even dodging this kind of a hit? Why isn't he just mold to it?
It's funny because there's another aspect of this that it just rang in my head that kind of supports this a little bit. What did Rayleigh say to Luffy during the training? You're using your fruit wrong. Mm-hmm. You're like taking this stuff and reflecting it another way. Like, no, take it head on and reflect it back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's Nika knowledge that he was trying to impart there, but it's like, it leads into you can take damage and redirect
I don't think that the poneglyph that they read from Joy Boy on LaughTale says anything about him having the Nika fruit.
Well, I don't even think it needs to have that, because if you Luffy learned to fight on his own, right? Like, he just adapted the way it was. But then when he was with Rayleigh, he learned other ways to use the rubber. For example, Gear 4. He was just like, oh, wait, if I wrap my Haki around it, then I'll use that. And then Rayleigh was like, oh, you're using your rubber in a very interesting way, right?
Yeah.
How many Doflamingo Kaido is like, is this even rubber still, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So the point being is that, not that Luffy's using his fruit wrong, but that fruit is so versatile that we see with Katakuri. Katakuri is just he can literally do anything with Mochi, right?
Yeah.
Literally anything. So Luffy, he was matching Luffy, where the point is Luffy could probably match Katakuri. A lot of people thought at a certain point that his awakening would look similar. The way he would use his fruit would be similar to Katakuri.
1000%.
So by that same nature, you would think that there might be other ways to use the rubber fruit.
They thought that he was going to just start erasing people, yo.
Yeah. Then it's not that that's a...
If he wanted to, he could just think it and just do it.
The comment on me. What's your second question, bro? We're still on the first question.
Just on the erasing part,
I still got more on this.
On the erasing part, when people brought that up, I was thinking if Luffy's fruit is, because the mythical zones, they have their thing, and then there's the secondary power we're seeing.
Yeah.
And so that kind of like, is there a Gomu Gomu fruit out there? And I was like, yo, if Imu has the real Gomu Gomu and the powers to erase things, I would be like, yo, that's next level.
Erase Sanji's pervertedness, bro.
I mean, I agree.
Please do it, bro.
Like,
His mediocrity, erase it completely.
we don't need to talk about all
Why
that, but I have a
Sanji
whole...
catching strays, bro? But
Go ahead, Lawrence, so we get into the second question.
Because I want to bring out, like, do you think, because it's kind of what you're saying, like I was expanding more, like try to adding the drums aspect of it, but like maybe Oda was telling us more. Remember that speech that Morio let out in Thriller Bark?
yeah.
Right?
Which one? Like,
He
what's
was
the
he was
context?
ripping Luffy about like how he wasn't gonna make it in the new world. You're just gonna get beat down and all that stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But remember Luffy's response? I'll just bounce back. I'm rubber. Simple. You know, it's like kind of like he has the freedom to do it because of his properties. But I kept thinking about like, I kept focusing on because I don't know why the drum beat, because like it's weird. Luffy hears that too. I always thought that was weird.
Yeah, he does hear it.
He
does hear
hears
it
the
too.
he hears his own drum beat because when he was going to Joy Boy, when he got knocked out of it, he starts beating his own chest, saying, "Come on, Heart, play that beat," to trying to get back into Gear 5th. So I thought that was interesting. So he hears that, and it's a beat to him, you know?
Are you
Yeah.
bringing up the question that he's probably heard it before, like in previous arcs?
He's just
No.
saying, he's questioning why can he hear it
Yes.
at all?
Why can he hear it at all?
I mean, that's different. I feel like anybody with the voice of all things was able to hear it.
Huh? Except I don't think Momo heard it. The only person we know that heard it was Zoe.
Well,
And
wasn't Kid and Law hearing something too? They like
We don't know what
They, like,
heard.
saw them look up.
I'm waiting for the anime because
Yeah.
that was a very weird
Sanji
scene
too.
where it's
Yeah.
like, what were they hearing exactly? Because the voice of all things is different, right? Because like when Luffy got knocked off the thing, it's like Luffy's voice is gone, right? But Luffy wasn't saying anything for his voice to be gone for
Yeah.
Momo to do that, right? So then when that happened in the awakening, they were like, oh, where'd his voice go, right? But along with that was the drums of liberation, and it's
Yeah.
kind of confusing. Were they hearing the drums? Were they hearing Luffy? Like,
Right.
what were they hearing exactly? Because Zunisha, you know what I want? I want to see Zunisha dance to the drums of liberation, yo. I mean, Zunisha showed up and did nothing. At least he could have done was the two-step. Like, you know what I'm
Damn,
saying?
yo.
Zunish.
Yo, that was cool as hell, man. All right, I'm out.
You think Luffy just hearing a
man.
beat? That's why he's like Joy Boy.
Yo.
Joy Boy's always hearing a beat in his head, just
Yeah,
like
that beat.
All right,
Be alright to put-
come on. Hit the super chat.
Real quick, I did put a poll up in the chat. Lawrence versus Larry. Lawrence, you destroyed Larry in this poll, 77 to 23. Oh,
Shout out
78.
to Lawrence.
28.
I'm not a violent man. I know you guys keep.
Shout out
This
to
keeps
Lawrence,
coming
bro.
up. This keeps coming up. I'm not a violent
But we
man.
did get a super chat from Insatiable Hunger. $5 super chat. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
It says,
thank you, Insatiable.
So out of the big three, Naruto, Ichigo, and Luffy, who earned their godly ability? All three have technically died. All three got willpower. Who's more privileged? I never finished Bleach, but I'm pretty sure Ichigo's on the lower spectrum as far as earning it. Here, am I wrong? I don't.
I would say he's the lowest of them.
Yeah.
Wait,
I think
I also never finished Naruto. So
I think that so I finished all three, but like I would say it's definitely Naruto number one.
who earned it the most?
No, he didn't earn it the most.
Oh,
My bad.
okay.
Who earned it the most is gonna be Luffy, and
Okay.
then
Yeah.
it's gonna be like Naruto and then Ichigo.
My only pushback is like, Shadow Clone Jutsu's hacks, bro.
Yo,
Yeah.
and it's been hacks, and like they never realized this. I was like, bruh, as soon as Kakashi was like, "Oh, you can learn information," I was like, "What?"
Yeah, literally when that happened, I was just like, so Naruto's just goofy as shit. Like,
Just a dumbass.
he learned it through rock, paper, scissors in the forest. I'm like, oh my goodness.
see, this is where I probably get a lot of hate for it. But this is where honestly I have like no respect for Naruto. Like I have
you gotta
like
respect Naruto.
I have like no.
Well, he
respect.
doesn't
He
respect
was about to
Naruto
go viral
because
on TikTok.
he doesn't
Bro.
respect Naruto because he had like an anxiety attack about Sasuke.
That's not right,
And then
bro.
dropped in the show.
It's more than that, but that was pretty bad.
He's a pretty bad kid.
Listen, I crap on Naruto as a series a lot. Naruto as an MC isn't that bad. You know what I mean? Like he got it. I don't want to say out of the mud, but like he pulled himself up. He did some stuff himself.
Yeah, he
Naruto-
did.
He stood tall a few times
also,
there.
To me, it's like I kept seeing Naruto as a big disappointment because the reason why, like, you had 2 years training,
Alright, bro.
and all you're able to do was a bigger Rasengan. Like that's it,
Bro!
Like compare that to Luffy 2 years
Yo,
later.
yo,
You know
what was Luffy
I'm
doing? Bigger.
No, but
bigger,
he also had the
like,
Rasen
punches,
Shuriken
bro.
too. He also had.
That was
that was after.
Oh, that was after.
That was
Oh, I
after.
thought that was secret.
Like,
okay.
No, that's not
Yeah,
Naruto
I can't.
specific. That's
I
Jiraiya,
can't.
bro.
Nah.
So let's keep going. Anything else?
No more super chats. We do have a bunch of comments in here talking about how Naruto's trash.
Thank you.
So
Gotta
we,
go
we
viral
got
on
10 minutes left until we start taking calls. So I'm
Okay.
gonna ask this one. So during the Road of LaughTale Volume 3, it was stated that Fujitora, also known as Isho, has in fact eaten the thud fruit and not his sword. How does this make you
Oh.
feel about Fujitora now? And we'll start with Seb.
Oh wow, that was confirmed.
I don't feel any different. You know what I mean? I would have liked if it was a sword because it'd give you more options. But it's like, I don't think he would fight any differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't see him eating another fruit, and now he can't, and his sword's not gonna eat another fruit. So, I mean, it just takes away possibilities, but it doesn't change Fujitora to me at all. You know, like I think the more logical thought process was he ate this fruit.
Yeah.
And he's just utilizing it
1000%.
with a sword.
It's funny that
It's like-
the Road to LaughTale dropped a little bit late this week because
Yeah.
we had like a 10-minute, maybe even more during the Reverie about him having it through the sword. Honestly, it made more sense to me through the sword, but like
I knew it would, Par. Par's mind goes there.
but like it doesn't bother me either way. The only reason why it made more sense to me that way is because because he was drafted into the Navy, right?
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, was this man just walking around with a gravity fruit, just unaffiliated with anything? He wasn't a pirate.
Just
he
dominant.
wasn't in the Navy. He was just like
Top tier.
He was just dominating and shit.
Like, where did he come from, and why did he have this fruit? Like, what is he doing? He had no ambition or aspirations to do anything. And then on top of that, this came up in the Reverie
Go
too.
ahead, Par.
It was
Keep going.
It was funny because like people were saying like him having the fruit for 2 years made sense because the world government gave it to him, right? That was like the thinking because we now have the Road to LaughTale, and it was just like so all right, you have 2 years with the gravity fruit or the thud fruit. Is that
TCB don't always get it right. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
Talk about TCB like that.
No,
dog.
they're good, but they call it the thud.
So you have this gravity fruit for 2 years, and you're telling me that the first thing you realize is I can bring down meteors. That's not a first. That's not a first
Yo,
thing.
what was his like first initial reaction when he did it?
He
was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
like, yo.
well, he couldn't see it.
No, but he
he like
didn't know
wiped
that.
an entire
No, but he can-
civilization.
But he can see.
What was
like-
that?
He can see clouds though. Apparently, he can sense clouds. That's how
Fujitora made
good
no
his
damn
observation.
sense,
is.
man.
Fujitora.
But
You
like,
don't know what he blinded
He's so
himself.
broken a character.
right? Like,
You don't know what he blinded himself.
it makes more sense that he's had it before the Navy,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
But like, it also doesn't make sense because like, where was this man who could just bring down meteors, and where has he tested this out? Like, what
I have a
island
quick
is-
question. I don't know if I could ask it real quick. Who do y'all think is the strongest of the three admirals?
All right, so we're not doing that right now. Because that's a whole different question. And that's a whole different topic. Lawrence, go.
Wait.
Yo, every single time, bro. Every single time we ask a question, Lawrence is like,
the
repeat it.
information about him being the one that ate the fruit, not the
yeah.
sword.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, where did we leave off? I have so many things about it. Honestly, to me, I'm just in because the way he utilized it, it makes it seem like it's just a sword.
It does.
Right? Because like for example, I haven't seen another ability user use it just through a weapon. Like for example, Wiper uses a weapon to Quake.
Well, Law.
Oh yeah, you're right.
No, but
Yeah,
like
Law
Law
does
does like shambles and then
Oh,
like
yeah,
tact
exactly,
and like,
with his hand.
but like Fujitora technically should just be able to like.
I mean,
Yeah.
he hasn't.
Meteor,
I mean, wait,
you know?
he hasn't been pushed. You know what I'm saying? To that
True.
extent.
It's
Because like,
true.
even when he calls
Like
out Amir,
Law's shambles technically like he uses to utilize his battle strategies even bigger. Like
Yeah.
in order to pull your heart out and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like he does that with the sword.
So we're saying Fujitora is just doing it for like style points because he doesn't have the technique
yeah.
like
Yeah.
he
Yo,
doesn't
he
have
could
to
just
do
be
all
like
that.
this.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah.
Yeah.
he strictly uses it in the sword.
Like how
Yo,
ironic
yo.
is that he can't
Yo,
see,
maybe-
but he's
maybe-
like
One at a
style
time,
points.
one at a
Maybe
time.
it's a trick to make you think it's the sword, and then he's just like, come here. It's like, I got your sword. It's like, it doesn't matter, bro.
Yo, that'd be funny as a gag. Like Luffy's like, "Hi, I got your sword now," and he's just like, "Oh, okay."
Thank you. No, because I just thought it because like I've only seen because even calling the meteorite, he like cuts a cloud or something. Like why?
Yeah.
You know, it's like when he was holding Law down through the sword. Holding Zoro down through the sword. Everything is through the sword. So I was like, I haven't seen anyone else use their ability just through their weapon when you have it yourself, where you don't need to utilize it. You know, that's I guess why it threw us off like that. I guess he's just strictly a swordsman or something like that. But besides that, I think it's actually cool they're doing it because even Whitebeard, I think I seen him use the quake through his halberd like maybe once.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah,
You know?
he used it.
times.
Yeah, he did a couple times.
But
But
it
then
wasn't
like he's
a lot.
like punching you with it, right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, but it's Fuji. Like to me, with him, he's definitely going to be one of the topper. I believe he's just stronger.
Topper?
Than Topper.
The topper.
Admirals.
On the
Admirals.
top show.
Top.
Kizaru winning this poll, I just put in here, by the way.
Yeah, I agree with
Which
you.
is
Yeah.
wild, because he's going to fight Sanji, and y'all all going to be butthurt.
So for me, I do agree that I do like it better that he has the fruit instead of the sword. I think it would have been cool to reference Funkfried in that way, but with like a Paramecia instead of a Zoan.
Yeah.
But it kind of wouldn't make sense since I don't know if Zoan wills have a bigger effect than Paramecias do.
So
Go.
no, I was going to say this is a great segue into something I want to talk about because one of the things with his sword having it was that in SBS volume 99, Oda says, he implies essentially that, you know, we've seen Zoans in objects, right? And Caesar has made the smile, right? And what Oda implies is that we might be seeing, like Kizaru's laser in the Pacifistas, we might be seeing more of that where inanimate objects have a Paramecia or Logia fruit in it. And so that was my line of thinking that the sword might have, like that might have been gifted from Vegapunk.
From Vegapunk.
Because in the first conversation we see of Fujitora and Green Bull in like chapter 905 or something like that, we see them like talking about Vegapunk as if they're both kind of familiar with him. And it lends itself to this idea that both of them have like a relationship. But so as you're saying with that.
Yeah. So I like the ability to think that they're not like one-sided. I like for my admirals to be very versatile. I like them to be ambitiously versatile. So if he was to drop that sword, I want to know that my admiral can still bang out at a high level. So him having this fruit himself makes that a possibility. And also we get cool like interactions with him and the sword. For example, like Sebastian said, he can just like push you out like Pain, right? But if he ever had the sword like too far from him, he could just pull it back and grab it and start fighting again.
Yeah.
So he can add like these like you remember when Killer Bee fought Sasuke? Imagine Fujitora doing that versus like Zoro.
He's just spinning a sword.
Yeah.
using
So
gravity.
like he's using the sword to like fight you, but at the same time he's like punching you in the face.
Yeah.
Which is now challenging Zoro as a, are you gonna just strictly rely on the sword, or are you gonna actually like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have a lot more to deal with, and it
Fujitora
makes
is
them
scary.
Exactly.
He really
so
is.
that's what I was gonna say. It makes the admirals more frightening in that aspect, and I like that idea.
Two things. We got a couple super chats I do want to read, but real quick, Conjuro, Brandon King pointed out Conjuro uses his devil fruit with his brush, the sword brush. That he
Oh
don't
yeah,
get no
start on
he
that.
does.
Conjuro is low key one of the most underrated characters.
Yo,
in
he
the whole
really
series.
is.
He's
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
nice.
Remember we were fighting on the Twitter. We were talking about which Scabber was the strongest, and then I was like, "Wait, Conjuro,
Yeah,
low-key
Conjuro.
is the strongest one because
Yeah, he's the
he had to
strongest.
fight all of them, and
Yeah.
it was like,
And he didn't die.
and he
He
killed
didn't
somebody.
die. He killed. He almost killed 2 people.
Yeah,
Kiku
yeah.
should have been dead.
Conjuro,
If
goofy,
only.
but like
If
low key,
only.
and he doesn't even have a sword. He has a brush. He has a brush with the hilt. Like that's essentially what it is.
But yeah,
He could essentially do anything. Like you see what Cracker did, right? Kanjiro can do that and give them all their own willpower. Like he
Yeah.
could create like an army of Kazembos.
That's why.
how
that,
is Kanzembo still
Yo,
working, bro?
I like the biggest troll he did. He goes, for years helping
Yo.
them, I can't draw.
so
I
the
can't.
dedication.
All right,
Yeah.
hold on. Let's get to the super chat.
Yeah, we got two super chats. Another one from Insatiable Hunger. Thank you so
Yo,
much.
Insatiable. Thank you so much.
It says, have y'all read the Boichi manga? It wanks ace. Speaking of wank, what would you like Kid to train more with? What would you like Kid to train more? His Haki or his fruit? And who would be his sensei?
I would say he needs the best sensei in the entire show,
And
and he needs to be better at both.
yeah, it's both.
Because Kid's severely lacks.
his fruit is I think
His hockey.
his Haki, yeah, because the thing is he has the avenue now. When you're a Kansas position user, he has the avenue to reach top tier levels. You know what I'm saying? He just needs to tap into that advanced conqueror's Haki status and use it. Like if I'm punching you now with metal,
You know how we
but
said
it's-
that
you know?
like Luffy's fruit was searching for somebody and it fit the person. Like Kid's fruit don't fit him, bro.
We don't know yet. We gotta see his
Which I'm
backstory.
shocked Larry didn't use a perfect opportunity to be like, well, his fruit is trash, and he collects trash. So
I've said it before.
But like,
I don't
yeah.
like to reiterate.
And the Ace thing, that's with the guy who drew Senken Rock? Is that?
Yeah, and I've read some. I like skimmed it.
It looks dope.
It
it's
looks
dope.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not.
All right,
It's
hold
tough
on.
to see One Piece.
We
graphics
gotta go
like
to the
that.
next one before.
Yeah.
All right, we got another $10 super chat from Celestial Donkey. It says,
Show this guy.
Fujitora's sword is a walking stick. He uses it for everything. He is blind.
He is blind.
You think he blinded himself with the sword?
With that sword?
Yeah.
It's called
Makes
gravity
sense,
on
right?
his eyes or something.
Nah, I think that you know how they. he was probably playing with it too much.
He was spinning around. His gravity ability
I'm gonna
crazy.
tell them I blinded myself on
Oh,
purpose.
you guys didn't get it.
What?
It's like when you play with it too much, you
Oh,
might
come
go
on,
blind.
man. Come on, man.
All right, yo, Mark. On that note,
Before we get to the calls, I just want to bring up two things.
That was
Two things.
actually gold.
So
My fault.
last episode we had like the huge thing about the Haki, the black blades versus blackened blades, and I remember there was a lot of pushback on the difference there. But in Road to LaughTale 2, they proved me right. They said Oda essentially every Road to LaughTale drop, by the way, like for us, it's kind of like Sebastian said. It's we generally know most of it. For the general audience, not even our viewers. Our viewers are manga readers. They're looking at everything. But
Damn, insatiable.
but for the general audience, people who aren't like weekly or they read whatever, it's great. But every drop, there's always like one thing. This one, I guess, the Fujitora is a solid one because everyone's been wondering about it. But
Yeah,
last
right.
one, you posted the video of that like whole monologue that I had about the blackened blades versus black blades, and there was so much discourse in the comments where people are like, Roger and Whitebeard had black blades. No, they didn't.
Yeah, they
No,
didn't.
they didn't. There's only 2 black blades, and they're like, no, there's 7, and I was like, no, there's not. and then they were like, wait, aren't black like we see like Zoro has a black blade? No, that's a blackened blade, not a black blade. And so in Road to LaughTale 2, Oda specifically in the notes said, is Haki all that's needed to make a black blade like Yoru and the thing?
Apparently not.
And
Yeah,
it's not.
apparently
And so
not.
that's why that conversation is so important. If you guys I would go rewatch that episode because there was a lot of great conversation.
Episode 49.
This is why Par is great because he goes from there to you have to become the blade. That's where
All right,
Par goes
hold on.
with it.
We are going to read the super chats really quick, and we're not going to be able to answer the questions because we have to do our sponsor, and then we'll answer it after. So,
All right, so we got a $5 super chat from Insatiable Hunger.
Insatiable Hunger. Thank you again.
Appreciate it.
Arigato.
It says, can Logias have an armament infusion just like how Luffy was armored but rubbery? I believe Oda will finally show the Admiral's full strength. Ooh,
Let's answer that after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got one from Shandi Wandi. It's a $8 super chat. It says Fujitora for Pirate King. Love from Australia, killing it, boys.
Hey, thank you
Hey,
from
appreciate
Australia,
you.
man. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to answer it, but we got to take our sponsor. So,
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Have you been struggling lately? Maybe you're having trouble sleeping, difficulty with a relationship, or just struggling from low self-esteem. Listen, I've been there. We've been there. If so, then today's BetterHelp wants to help you. BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained to listen and help you. Talk to your therapist in a private, online environment at your own convenience. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. You just fill out a questionnaire, simple as that, to help assess your specific needs. And then you get matched with the therapist in under 48 hours. Then you schedule a secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you can exchange unlimited messages and everything you share is completely confidential. I happened to sign up at one point regarding my confidence issues. Next thing you know, my confidence issues are not issues anymore. I'm doing pretty well in that area. You can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime. Join the 2 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. Special offer goes out to all that One Piece Talk listeners. You get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/TOPT. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TOPT. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode.
All right, so welcome back. Everybody, don't forget to like the stream, please. Thank you. It helps us out.
Did I do it?
So,
I liked it.
so for that one question regarding the admirals, right?
Yeah, it
Just
was
read it one
the
more.
Insatiable. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's can Logias have a Haki infusement just like how Luffy was armored but rubbery? I believe Oda will finally show the admirals at full strength.
I think that if we were to see that, it's going to be from the previous 3 admirals only.
I feel like
So
How many more Logias? do
I
you
don't
have?
think. I think what they're similar to Doflamingo and Katakuri, how they could armament infuse their like awakening.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Logias will have that because they're elements, and that it is cutting hairs. But that's the reason why I think we got Rio and Conquers, because you can imbue that into your attacks. No matter what the attack is, you can now imbue your elements with that. I think that's where
Akainu created a whole volcano, bro.
Yeah.
Did he?
You know, yeah. Like
I mean, he influenced a volcano.
what
creating, right?
like what I'm trying to say is like if Doflamingo could do it with his strings, then I can see like Aokiji spurt up a ice and have Haki on the tips of like that ice, and
Yeah.
then like hit you with it.
I'm not saying it's not possible.
And they're like the one type of devil fruit that is actually genetically modified completely to the point where like Aokiji could break down into pieces and come right back.
Yeah.
So it's like if anybody can do it, I think it's the Logias first, and then we question like Parameces and stuff.
So I think the reason why I have this like instinct that we're not gonna see that is because of the separation that like elements have. Like Oda has made it like Paramecias are man-made things, and then elements are like a separate entity. And again, like it could be that we're gonna see like magma coated with armament. Very possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but what I'm saying is it's Oda treats those two things separate, and I don't know what we're even going to see with Awakenings in general with the Logias. So I would imagine that
Liquid metal would be wild.
yeah, like I would imagine, you know, it would be cool though. Like if you fire, you get like, you know, black fire, like, you know, that it would be cool. But I don't know why. I just have this feeling we're not going to see like armament coated elements. Rather, we're going to see Haki infused elements, and that's, you know, Conquerors infused, Rio infused, like those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And we've seen the admirals even in Marineford proficient with Rio because they blocked Whitebeard's attack with it, and that had to be Rio. It's not like they were just praying, right? Like that was Rio. I mean, some people don't think it's Rio. I'm just saying. Some people actually don't think that was Rio. So
Those thoughts and prayers.
yeah, like
Black Whitebeard.
all 3 admirals
Thoughts and prayers.
just did this, right? And it's like, and then you see Whitebeard's blast come at it, and it stops. So
Yeah,
it's like
bro, it's
either
Rio,
they're
bro.
praying or it's Rio, right? Like I'm gonna go
I
with
had
the Rio.
this argument with both of these dudes for the longest that the admirals were using advanced forms of.
No. It was them and
It was
Lionel.
Future Sight.
No. But I already told you, the force field is different from what Luffy was trying to use to hurt Kaido. They're 2 different things.
No.
Bro, when Luffy was trying to protect himself from Big Mom, he did this. Literally.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But what Luffy was trying to learn to hurt Kaido to hit him deeper is different from the shield.
That is true.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
It's a different. It's a
All
different.
right, so
It's the same concept, but different
before we
use.
get crazy with this, we have to take calls.
Yep, I agree.
So we're 7 minutes in. Marv, can you put up the phone number, please, for people to call up? All right, guys, when you call up, do not be jerks, just in case. Because I know there's a couple of people that came through that started following us from TikTok. Just letting you know, do not curse, don't go any crazy.
Keep it clean, y'all.
We got a call.
Hey, how's it going? This is Larry from That One Piece Talk. Who are you and how are you?
It's Aaron Tate, guys. How you doing?
Hey,
Aaron Tate, what's going on, brother?
He's
He's always first, bro. Always.
Don't know how he does it.
I stay on deck. So 2 things before I ask my question. One, congratulations, Parvision, for being on the Reverie.
Yeah.
I watched most of it. You guys were great. I enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you. Appreciate
yeah,
that you
two-
watched it.
Yeah, I got up to like 6 hours. I've been watching it over the past few days. It's crazy that you guys were on there for a full 10 hours. So
Yeah, Jay said 6 hours, right? But then on his stream, I was just like, "Yo, Marge did 11," and then he's like, "There ain't no way I'm going past 7." And I said on his stream, I said, "I'll see what I could do about that." And then I think around 8 hours or 9 hours, I bring out the elemental Haki thing, and it was I could have gone on. I was talking with Ragnar because it was the agenda part of the conversation, and so we share our theories, and then people are supposed to like battle it a little bit, push back a little bit. And Ragnar was battling, and I had receipts for every single thing because they didn't know all of my videos low key connect to the elemental Haki thing. So I was pulling from this video, and Jay was like, "Hey yo, like I didn't think that you were gonna go that far with it." And so the chat was like, "Yo, this is about to be a 45-minute elemental Haki thing. We gotta put a stop on it."
If y'all want to debate with Parvision, you gotta come prepared, bro. He knows.
Yeah, you also brought up the shadow thing theory.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
The shadow
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was far-fetched, but it was definitely interesting to hear. So yeah, I thought that was interesting that you brought that up in the. I was just happy to see you be able to get your shine throughout that reverie because I know you were in there with a lot of big heads. So. And then also I wanted to shout out you guys for I follow you guys on TikTok. And so I wanted to shout you guys out for always using my questions as part of your clips on TikTok. So thanks a lot for that.
You ask good questions, bro.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it. Hopefully this next one makes it. So my question today is, if Momonosuke, Koby, and Ussop are confirmed to have Conqueror's Haki, would you be okay with that?
Yes.
Hell yes.
Yes.
100%. I didn't even remember who the middle person was.
Momo, Koby, and Ussop.
Yes.
I already had a theory on Ussop.
Nah.
Yes.
Koby already showed it.
I'm with you, Par.
Momo has to have it. Momo has to have it.
I think Momo's allowed to have it, but the other two, nah.
I would say out of those three, Momo's probably the most likely to have it.
Yeah.
But I'm with you on the Ussop thing. I've been saying this since forever.
See, even
and
with
when Part dropped, I was like,
this is,
yes.
My
y'all
most
just
watched video
trying to-
is the Ussop thing. But even without my video, Ussop hasn't said it once. He said it twice. He said he was going to have Conquerors twice.
Cool.
Bro, that means he's gonna get it. Like,
Remember what Conquerors is.
Remember
You are
the-
born with a will or disposition that stands above others. That's what a conqueror is. You're born with a will or disposition, or the same thing, that stands above others.
And born again Ussop will have that.
Where does Ussop and Koby fit into that category?
so
Momo, I'm so iffy with Momo.
No, Momo's definitely gonna have it. Momo is like I don't know what people wanted from him. He was an 8-year-old for the majority of the story,
true.
right? And his dad, everyone wanted to avenge his dad's death, right? But who killed his dad? The strongest person in the world. That's imagine Superman killed your dad and you're like, I gotta go kill Superman. That's messed up to expect an 8-year-old to do that, right?
Yeah, man.
So, he chose to leave his mom, right? To go on this 20-year-old future mission that just made no sense, right? So, I think Momo is the person we expect the most to probably get Conquerors. And then I have a video that explains why his lineage isn't even the Kozuki stuff. There might be crazier stuff involved there. Mm-hmm. Now, my most watched video is the Ussop one. And honestly, in pure reflection, and I've told this to my chat, I'm glad I made that before Onigashima because I don't think I would have had the motivation to make it after Onigashima after what we saw out of Ussop, right? But, that point still stands where it's like the elements of that video are still true. There's nothing, falsified by that by Onigashima. And when your point is, it's like when you think about it, and this might be a stretch, but I haven't gone to the Koby. The Koby one's the most concrete one in my mind because the Ussop one was like, think about it like this: on his island, he was the one who was actually tracking pirates and confronting them first out of anyone in his island. He was willing to do that for his people. Yes, there's a lot of other stuff involved in that, but when you think about it, right? If you're just a fodder person, why would you be doing that? Why would you be running at the pirates and trying to even front, having 8,000 people, right? Why would you ever be trying to do that if you weren't built a little bit different? Now, I'm not saying built like Luffy. I'm not saying built like the conquerors we know. I'm saying built different in a way that is respectful, right? Luffy respects him. Luffy wants to keep him there. And now the Koby example, and I'm putting this part in my Conquerors Haki video, which is coming out soon. I apologize, everyone. But they're in the scene where he steps up to Akainu, right? He screams in the middle of the biggest war to date.
I remember. I thought he actually
screams.
Yeah, I remember you showed him.
So loudly.
He's about to say he did it.
We talked about this at dinner. I now remember. We talked about this at dinner. He screams so loudly that not just Akainu. Yeah, he's just in front of Akainu. Akainu would stop, right? No, not just him. Kizaru also stopped. Kizaru was about to shoot his laser beam. Koby screamed.
Talk to him, Par.
And then
right now.
and then on top of that,
on, man.
the panel
Yeah.
parallels the same one that Luffy had
Yeah.
in the same arc.
Talk to him.
He had the whoosh that we got with the Haki Blue. We got everything.
So hold on. So this is where it's getting out of hand. Yo, they're getting out of hand, right?
Yeah, they are.
All right. So there's a difference between begging and
what was
telling
he
somebody
begging? How was he
telling
begging?
somebody
He said
to stop.
stop, and everyone. That's one word.
He was begging.
He said,
hold
he
on,
said stop.
Par.
He said stop.
Hold on. Par. He was begging Akainu to stop.
No,
He said it one time.
He said it
Begging
one
is
time. No,
repetition.
after that, Akainu's. I keep mixing them. Akainu stopped, and he had a few seconds of courage. That's what Shanks said. A few seconds to say what he was, and then he was about to die.
So are we mixing courage with conquering? Or
Well, you have to have courage to conquer.
Yo, but
you
hold
have to have.
on.
You
It's
have to have-
true.
What has Momo been trying to battle? What has
Look
Momo?
at Par, bro.
What is
Stepping up.
what is Momo's entire character
Yo,
arc?
but hold on.
Coward versus courage.
Hold on.
Right?
You're saying overall that just because you have courage means that you could just have conquerors.
No,
Haki.
I'm not saying
and
that.
that's not true.
Because Vivi had the same showing. Vivi had the same
Bro.
show. She screamed. She had the courage,
Courage-
but nobody listened.
Nobody
Nobody
listened.
listened.
Nobody heard it.
Hold on,
Nobody
but courage
listened.
doesn't always equal to actually conquering.
Exactly.
He's
But
giving you an example.
I'm
what
giving
you're-
you an example.
But what I'm saying is like just because Koby ended up doing
Yeah.
that, he wasn't knocking people out next to him.
Well, I mean, there was a panel of
no.
but the
Those
point is,
people were getting
the
dropped
point
because
is,
they were dying, and
Luffy-
hold on, Par.
Yeah.
It was showcasing that this was a war and people were dying, and to exemplify that. Yo, the reason why Koby is doing this is because people are literally falling as he's talking. Now, if you're to take that just because he has courage and people are falling next to him, that's not conquerors, bro.
No, I'm not saying
Yeah.
the courage part, right? The Vivi is the exact counter to what you're saying. She had the courage in the middle of a war, smaller than Marineford. She's the princess. Everyone should be listening to her. She's on top of them too.
Yeah.
Nobody listened to her. Nobody.
And in verse, nobody should be listening to Koby.
And you know,
He's
but
nothing.
No, but you know what happened? What did listen to her? The weather. There's a huge. Everyone thinks that she commanded it to rain. And what do they do? Oda puts the whoosh effect, the very same whoosh effect, going up to the sky. It starts raining. That same whoosh was given to Koby. If he didn't have that, I wouldn't be saying this. And now the other part of it is that just because you have, and Oda has straight out said this too. Conquers doesn't mean you knock out people. That's not what conquers means. Conquers, it's a command. You agree with that too.
You have to-
Shirahoshi,
You
right?
have
You
to,
would say that's a
you have
conquer.
to instill your spirit into somebody else.
Exactly.
So-
now we're talking the two strongest people at Marineford. Kizaru had no reason to stop. No reason to stop. He was fighting in the sky away from
Yeah.
him. But the panel showed every all-encompassing whoosh from Koby saying one word. He screamed, "Stop." Everybody
Or-
listened.
It's wild. Kobe's going up in the poll, and it has to be because of what Par's saying right now.
But again, this is where I go like Par's so talented at convincing people of the unknown that they start to fall for his trap. So this is where like Mihawk can be a sword is a thing, or like Zoro could be a plant is a thing. And it's like realistically, bro, this is what I'm trying to say is that even though that you can make those connections, it doesn't mean that they necessarily connect. So It could just be that Oda's writing a story, and to add dramatic effect, he goes whoosh. You know what I'm saying?
But
it doesn't necessarily
you have to
mean
take
that.
into consideration where else he's used that. You have to do that. You have to look at the panel that he did it. He gave him a whole panel.
So
for it.
this is part.
The
I'm gonna be real.
same thing with Luffy.
This
The
is-
same. When else
this
in
is
Marineford?
One Piece madness.
No. It's not.
This is One
Koby-
Piece madness.
Yo, Aaron, are you still there?
Koby
Yeah,
getting.
I'm here.
Listen, it's Marineford. We're giving Koby an entire panel in it.
Yes.
That's important.
Yes,
That's
hold
important.
on. You're gonna give him an entire panel to highlight how much destruction this war is actually causing, and it's being broadcasted
And
to the
who
entire
stopped
world.
it? Who stopped it?
But he didn't
Nobody
stop it.
could stop it.
He didn't
They
stop it.
give Shanks credit,
Shanks stopped it.
but it was really
he's-
Kobe.
Shanks
No,
even,
shut up.
Shanks
No, it
even
wasn't.
said that. Shanks even said
No,
it.
Shanks said, "Thank you providing me the seconds I needed in order to
Yeah.
stop the war."
Yeah, but then why did Shanks do it himself?
Go
but it
looks
was,
Kobe.
hold on.
Hey,
It
yo.
was because there was no other
Sebastian
Marine. Hold on. There is no other Marine in that war that had the courage to step up to Akainu at that moment.
Courage.
But
Akainu, the
again,
strongest man there.
But that's why it was so encompassing for everybody to look.
Who's the only person who had the courage to stand up to Akainu?
Everybody
Ace.
that
Ace,
wanted
your
to fight
favorite
him.
character.
Yes.
Ace had the courage.
Yes.
And what did he have?
A hole in his
Conquerors.
chest.
But he had conquerors, right?
But at the same time, all right. So who else stepped up to Akainu?
Who?
Funny to me.
Marco, Vista,
Marco?
and what happened to them?
All right, but like,
Where's their conquerors?
but in that way, to
so funny
stop
to
him.
me.
No,
in that way to stop
I
him.
know that you're trying to make this super like official, and it is superficial.
No, but like-
it's not. It's really
you
just.
might believe
hold
this,
on.
bro.
It's really just Kobe was there. He was a lone ranking Marine. Everybody was like, "Yo, you're stepping up to Akainu. He's willing to kill you if he has to." He said, "I don't care. I just want the voices in my head to stop because what was actually going off during that war? His
That's what I
observation, Haki. He had mantra the same way that girl was noticing all the voices disappearing. He had that, and he felt it was torture. So when he went to Akainu, he asked him by begging him to stop. He didn't say you better
but
stop.
just because
he
you
didn't
feel-
say you have to stop or I'm going to hurt you.
He just said stop.
He just said stop.
He didn't
Right.
beg him to stop.
Yeah,
He just said stop.
Afterwards, he put in the reasons. That's not begging. He put in
Bro,
the
he-
reasons.
what?
It's not
He
the same
got
thing,
few
right?
seconds
It's not
of
the same
courage,
thing.
right? Before he said stop, but you said it yourself. Conquers is affecting someone else's spirit.
But
you
he
can
didn't
feel
affect any.
all you want. I can feel all I want. I'm not. If I scream, no one's gonna listen unless I have conquers
Bro,
to some
I'm
extent.
listening,
it's,
bro.
but it's different, bro. It's different because he wasn't.
Vivi had all the feelings. She didn't stop anyone. Her
Because-
own constituents.
But he didn't show a sign of conquerors because
also way more people.
ultimately Akainu didn't feel affected to stop. He just paused for a second. That's it.
No, everyone stopped. Law, Drake, they
But
showed
that was
Drake.
Oda showing the effect of what was happening
Law,
during the war.
so
No.
Oda showed the strongest people at Marineford. Stop it.
Go ahead,
The
Lawrence.
strongest
But remember,
people.
two things.
I love
Remember,
this about
I
Par,
wanted
by
to
the
bring,
way.
I wanted to bring out the same thing that you bring out. That's why I was waiting. Because, like, one, Kobe's mantra was acting up, the voices thing. But remember, people were still dropping. So remember, from the beginning of the show, Kobe has shown that he's been an emotional dude, right?
Yeah.
Emotional dude and kind of like a scaredy cat or a coward, right? I'm not going to fully call him a coward, but like...
So you can
he was
agree,
building
by
up.
the way, emotional dude, he's going to get future sight too.
All right. So virtual suit. Yes, I mean, because Ussop looks like he might be teaming at that rate. But like, notice this thing, right? Is now emotional dude. This is something what was stirring what everyone felt was because what he was feeling. Kobe's already an emotional dude. Now you're in a war who Kobe, you were saying a soft-hearted man, emotional dude, is feeling everyone voices disappearing. He's feeling everyone dying. So he's just like, it's overwhelming him. Proof of that is getting too much. Because remember, right after he screamed, what happened to Kobe? He passed out. So
He passed out because he was about to get.
Well,
Yeah,
he was
No,
in between
because
the
donut.
he got conquered.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he was about to get donutted, bro.
He was next to Shanks and Akainu. I think I would piss my pants too, right? Like even though
No,
Shanks
It
saved
wasn't
him.
just that.
No, it wasn't-
Akainu went to actively punch Kobe and kill him.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
he didn't
Like,
pass out from that. Ultimately, from my interpretation of what that scene was about, he passed out from the overabundance of voices in his head disappearing and what was actually happening during the war.
So he would have passed out before then, because
I know.
he stopped You also said everything stopped.
I think he reached a point where he couldn't take it anymore, and
Right,
he just
no, but-
passed
but
out from
when
it. And
he
then
spoke-
Shanks showed up in enough time to like stop him from dying.
When he spoke, though, everything stopped.
no, but people were still dropping.
Yeah, they were still dying, Par.
Because that's why the other thing is that's why they showed with people dropping is because they're showing Koby what he was feeling. Because even after the war, when the war was over, right? He's in bed going crazy, and you're saying, yeah, you have mantra. That's what you have the voices.
No, I agree with that. But that point of that is that, yeah, he's emotional. He's in tune. He woke in his observation. But just because you feel something, right? We're not seeing Nami. We're not seeing other people scream and then stop admirals. We're not seeing that.
There was never a battle at that height where somebody else can just do that.
I mean, we were in a war with a bunch of people dying. But there was probably lots of people screaming.
Another thing, right?
How many people were screaming stop while they were running as pirates?
It doesn't have to be that no one passed out, but no one sensed that he was a conqueror. No one felt that. Like, for example, Luffy let it out.
That's true, too.
Everyone felt that, that's a conqueror. Every time someone lets out, like King, who's not even a conqueror himself, Zoro let it out. Felt, you too have kingly ambitions. When someone usually lets it out, someone can feel that the spirit of a conqueror is so
the separation I would say there is when Luffy used that at Marineford, there was a handful of people that recognized it. But the majority of people were just like, what was that? Majority of people did not know exactly what that was.
Hold on. So you're telling me that Koby had a better conqueror's showing than Luffy at
I'm
that
not saying that.
No, he didn't say that.
I'm not saying that.
You say
that. Luffy got recognized.
No, but even the handful he's talking about are the elites. It was Akainu who was like, Aokiji was like, whoa, what?
But hold on. But by Par's definition, it was nobody else out of the entire war looked at Luffy the way everybody looked at Koby.
No, they didn't. No, they did.
When Luffy did that, they were like, we got to kill him.
What I'm saying is that when it happened, those top people were the people that were like, there's something up with that. Ivankov was like the one who recognized it. There was a few other people that are like, oh, that's special. They didn't use the word specifically at that point. But that being said, a majority of the people were just like, what was that? Even Luffy was like, what was that, right? So by that same nature, if you don't knock someone out, if you don't have a full showing, and we know that Conquers is not all just about knocking out. Oda said that himself. When people ask the question, right, I think in the SBS it's like, would Shanks have knocked out everybody at Fishman Island, right? Everyone's just, and he's like, yeah, he could have.
I don't think he was knocking out Hoodie.
No, but Oda's response was, it's not about knocking him out. That's not what Conquers is about. That's what he said in the SBS. He said, even if you ask this question, it doesn't matter because it's not about how many people you knock out. It's about what your intentions are with your conquerors. And so in the video, I explained going through even from Shanks, right? Because Shanks at the very first episode. We'll get to another caller, but like at the very
sorry, Aaron.
The first thing, right? Shanks used Conquers on the Sea King, right? He's way strong. He's a Yonko at this point.
He didn't knock him out. He made it run away.
Yeah, he made it run away. Why couldn't he knock it out? He's strong enough. The reason why he didn't is because he didn't.
Was he?
Come on, man.
I mean, he's taken out. At that point, he should have been clashing with Mihawk already. He's plenty strong.
Only to add to it, I still disagree with the Kobe thing. But
1,000%.
Oh, the Luffy and Fisherman Island. When the sea monster came, he went just like this, and Luffy didn't choose not to knock it out. We chose to stop it. Yeah. It came aggressive at Luffy, and Luffy went like this and calmed it down, and it just stopped. Like it went.
Yeah, even on Dressrosa, that's how he used his conquerors with the bull too. Yeah. And in this very first chapter, very first episode, Shanks, he should have been able to knock it out with his conquerors. But what was important, and this is what I'm getting at in my Conquers Haki video, is that it's commands. You know this, commands too. And what did Shanks say? He said, "Get out of here." That's what he told the Sea King, and the Sea King listened. Yeah. So that's what Conquers allows you to do. If you speak something, if you know how to control it, right? And so I've been telling my viewers this for a long time. Literally that scene from Rayleigh where we debuted it at the auction house, that is way more in depth than we realized because there are people he should have knocked out. Nami, why is she there? But like, why wasn't she knocked out? But all the guards that easily could have.
He chose,
right?
Yeah.
And he didn't say something specific, but that lends itself to his idea that there's like a certain thing that you can do with Conquers once you get to a certain level, right? He even told Luffy, be careful what you do with your Conquers.
Right. I just want to say one thing in regards to this. Well, two things. The next super chat that we got is Kobe related, so calm down, y'all too, because y'all was wilding. But hold on. We can't. All right. But to add to that, when Rayleigh did use Conqueror's Haki for the first time in the series that we knew or whatever in that moment, there was 4 straw hats that were shown. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Usopp. I just want to let y'all know that.
All right, so we're gonna move past that. So what I will say is this too:
Usopp
is
also
that
Apple.
what other Marine was standing up against other Marines in that war?
Garp? Is that what you're trying?
No, because Garp wasn't standing up to
Standing
any of
against
them.
all
He
the
wanted,
Marines?
he wanted to go against Akainu though. He wanted to go against Akainu.
That's
but
different. That's
Sengoku-
different. But that was
Sengoku-
never acknowledged by everybody. But what other Marine happened to be like, yo, I'm going against the Marines right now in the war?
Only Koby.
Only Kobe, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Doesn't that
technically,
say
but
more
hold on,
things
hold
about
on.
Kobe then?
But that adds to the fact of why the Marines would stop if there was another Marine doing so.
That's
It's
fair.
because that's
No, that's
noticeable.
all fair.
That's a young Marine again going against his superiors and going, yo, this needs to stop. And then immediately after that was Shanks was like, yo, do you want to continue fighting this war because people are dying?
I would argue the separation that says more. Imagine being in the military and going against your ranking off, not just the ranking, the commander in chief.
But
bro.
this is the thing. This is where we get
different.
into. This is where we get.
It doesn't matter if you're a.
we get
Literally,
into
Akainu is like,
morality.
who are you? Who are you? Nobody knows who Kobe is.
Yeah.
Right. So him
That's an added
doing
effect.
that, as imagine being like a lieutenant and going against like. Biden, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he tells you to go kill your, like, you know, go against everything you believe in and do that.
Yeah.
Everyone's believe. That's how ranking it works. So that says more about Kobe breaking rank.
But you're not adding in the shock value. That's what I think you're not adding
of a
in.
no-name Marine.
Yes.
Right. It'd be different if it was Garp. It would be different. Everyone would listen if it was Garp, but I don't think it would make sense. No one would stop if it was Kobe. Kobe's a no-name Marine.
But
I'm with
again,
you on this.
hold on,
I
though.
just don't think it's enough evidence to say he has it.
Yeah, no, I
it's
agree.
not-
I
it's
agree
not
with that.
even-
But what I would say is if that panel didn't exist and then Kobe got Conquers later on, it would have no leg to stand on. If Kobe gets Conquers later on, everyone
gonna
can
be
go back
supported
to
by
that.
that.
So
moment.
wild that me and Par have switched opinions on this because
'Cause you-
I'm
yeah.
arguing portrayal and he's literally arguing evidence, and I'm literally telling you that through plot portrayal,
Yeah.
this is why Kobe did so, and this is why it had such a major impact on the story. Is because as a reader, you are supposed to digest what you're seeing and make sense of it, right? What made sense in that was that Oda was trying to give you an emotional shock value and show that Kobe was going through a morality, moral, conflict in himself.
Yeah.
And he had to go against something that his dream was to become the greatest Marine. But he was like, yo, I have to showcase Kobe in this light now. And like Kobe has to bring forth this morality check to the Marines because if not, he doesn't want to be a part of it.
Right, and my point to that is that why is Oda highlighting the characters we're seeing anyways, right? They're going to be special, right? If this is the only Marine that is doing what you're saying he's capable of, right?
Yeah.
Then that lends itself to already that Kobe is on a pedestal when it comes to these things. All the gifts that we're seeing these other people get, Kobe's going to be getting the gifts. We're talking about the observation Haki. He had a really great showing of a bloom in that sense, right? So, then we're like, yo, and the emotions part. What was tied to emotions? Future sight. He's going to be getting these gifts. And I think like Oda put in the play, and I was talking to somebody else before about this. I think it was Threevil actually, where it's like, when you write a story, you put in seeds so that you can use later on. That doesn't mean you use all of them, but these seeds are still there. So it's very possible that these seeds will be used. If they're not used, then there's just another track.
So
that
can
it goes
y'all
on.
remind me of any other person who was going through a Haki bloom at that instance, like observation or armament, and then ended up going, all right, let me just use Conquers out of nowhere?
I mean, but that's the
Is there
point.
any other character in the entire series?
Technically Luffy.
Yeah, I mean,
Technically.
the thing is,
that awakened it.
the
This will be
thing,
his
Like,
awakening.
because what I'm trying to say is that at that very moment, all that was coming out of Kobe was observation. That's it. That's the only form of Haki that was literally emitting itself.
so and the thing is, the important part, right, is if it were just that, there's never been a whoosh for observation Haki. Is all I'm saying. There's never been a whoosh for a observation.
See, I can't recall that because
I
that's
gotta
like
go to
detailed
panels.
information that we have to dive
I'd have to go
into.
to the panels, bro.
Yeah,
But
it's,
we got to go to panels for
yeah,
that.
it's
All right.
like-
but anyway,
We gotta go to another caller, and we got a dozen super chats to
All right,
get to.
Aaron, I'm so
Aaron.
sorry we can't do your second question, but your first question was too good.
It's all good. I really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot,
Before you
guys.
go, I do want you to answer your own question. What did you pick?
So for me, I would hate it if Momonosuke, Koby, and Usopp had Conqueror's Haki because of this. I think everyone in the series that have been shown to have Conqueror's Haki have displayed a certain pattern of behavior.
Yes.
They thrill it. They enjoy the thrill of adventure. They enjoy the thrill of battle. When faced with a tough opponent, they're ignorant to the threat level of that opponent to the point where they just dive in head first without, fearing for their life. For instance, Roger, it was just Roger and the Roger Pirates against Shiki and his entire fleet, and Roger didn't bat an eye before saying, bring it on, right? Luffy challenged the world government without batting an eye. We can go down the list. Whitebeard, Rocks. Like all of these people have displayed a certain type of behavior, a pattern of behavior that shows why they deserve to have Conqueror's Haki. When it comes to Momonosuke, Koby, and Usopp, yes, they have had moments where they've shown resolve, but it usually comes after a 2-hour midlife crisis before they finally decide to do something about their current situation. So I just feel like that for them to get conquerors would go against the established order of, these are the kinds of people that have Conqueror's Haki, and it just wouldn't be fair to those people to just give these people Conqueror's Haki just out of nowhere. Like even if Momonosuke had Conqueror's Haki, again, it would only be by virtue of the fact that Odin had it. And even still, I don't feel like he would deserve it because it's like you've been a crybaby this entire time and you've been forced into this leadership position that you really didn't want. So I just feel like it's not right to give those people Conqueror's Haki. That's just in my opinion, though.
Gotcha.
I have so much to say about
Anyway,
that.
we're gonna move fast. We gotta go. But Aaron, I just want to say thank you for always calling as usual, and thank you for these awesome ass answers, bro. Very appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys a lot, man. Have a great night.
You too.
All right. Can you take the number off really quick? Hold on. You can pick it up. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? This is Larry from That One Piece Talk. Who are you and how are you?
God dang, finally. KJ, man, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How are you? What's your name?
It's KJ.
Yeah, I knew it was
Hey, KJ, what's up, man? How are you?
We're good, man. Got my man Parvision on here. What's up, man?
What's up, KJ?
What's up, KJ? What's your question, bro?
I'm finally in here, man. It's crazy because I literally been trying to call for the last 2 months. And the last time I was on here, everyone was kicking out Parvision. As soon as he called, I was like, yep.
Wait, were
it.
you one of the
Not
people
gonna-
kicking me out?
Not going to be on here.
Oh man.
So what's your question, bro?
Good to have you.
Nah, man, yeah. Nah, man, I just wanted to give y'all some love, man. And, just my last shout out, I just wanted to touch back. Like, I asked you guys if, Blackbeard was coming to Wano and taking the fruit. So we all obviously seen how that played out. Or it's going to play out. But no, man, it's just like in general, Par's on here too. What's up with this man Blackbeard? Like, is he coming to Wano or what? Or is this just this next new saga? Is it just going to be about mythical zone fruits and God knows what else?
I don't think he's coming to Wano.
Same. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a little too late in the game. But the fact that they haven't left is still like anything could happen. I'm still a Marco's fruit gets farmed. You know what I'm saying? Kind of person.
I think it makes sense with Marco's fruit being gone. But on the Blackbeard note, he has to be going where the world government is leaving, right? So it's either Marajua or Marineford. I don't know why he would want to go to Marineford, but like Garp said that all the resources are on Alabasta, and then they sent everybody across the board to the warlords, and we don't know how that played out. And then once he saw that news, Blackbeard said like, all right, time to get what I want to get. And we don't know what he wants to get, but you can imagine that it's probably wherever the world government's defenses are down.
And Greenbold made it a point to say the entire world out there is a mess and you guys are having a party. Blackbeard almost assuredly was a part of that mess that was being created. So he did something out there that was wild. So I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
actually, now that I think about it, maybe he went to like Punk Hazard. Maybe.
I mean, I still like the whole Cake Island thing too. But,
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's too late for him to come to Wano.
Yeah, we have to think about what Blackbeard would want the most, where it's currently the defenses are down. It's not Wano. Wano has everybody. It's not, Alabasta has everyone. The warlord, it wouldn't make sense for him to go after other warlords because there's battles there. But we do know him ambushing battles. But it just the way it feels like he's just going to swoop in,
only one of them has a devil fruit that would be relevant to him.
Yeah, Buggy?
Yeah. What?
He's talking about Hancock, bro.
he's probably going. If he's going after ability, if it's not Marco, it's probably gonna be Salvos.
Yeah, Lawrence has brought that up too a lot.
Because he told Luffy that he's gonna take the fruit.
All right.
So he could be gunning for that.
Yeah. Well, KJ, man, I appreciate you becoming a member today. I appreciate you overall for always supporting, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yo, that's crazy about that. I thought I was already a member.
I thought so too.
It's all right, bro.
I thought so too, but don't worry about it, man. Even if you weren't, just watching us is enough, man.
And we appreciate your endurance trying to get here for 2 months, man. Appreciate you.
Yo, Mosh is trying to call too.
But
I appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah, thank you, KJ.
Much love.
Yeah. No, y'all have a nice one. Appreciate you too, Par, for coming on here, man.
Yo, I love everyone here. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for giving that question. Thank you for chatting. We'll talk more on Discord.
Thank you.
For sure.
Take care. Cut calls off for a second.
Yes.
There's way too many super chats. All right, do the super chat.
All right.
So there are questions. We got to answer them, and then let's get back to calls.
All right. So we got a $5 super chat from Rick Lowry. It says Koby and Luffy got to fight again because it's going to be like Garp to Luffy being Gold Roger. What do y'all think? Big support for you guys. I think we all believe.
I think we all agree that the similarities between the two.
There.
Yeah.
I mean, but in conversation aside, Koby doesn't need Conkers for that parallel to exist. I don't think. Right. So as much as I was pushing for that, there's still story. Their parallel still exists without that.
I think the difference between Garp and Koby and Luffy and Roger is that the later generation is actually going to change the Marines. Because Luffy will change the world.
Well, Garp didn't.
Yeah. Who's next, Seb?
Sorry,
guys. We're gonna get back to calls. There was just so many super chats. I want to, make sure that we read them.
Yeah, I think
a lot of new
we
names
might have
too.
missed some. Which
are
sucks,
any of them from you?
We
Did you notice any names?
Maybe. $8 super chat from Shandi Wandi. It says, if Koby doesn't have Conquerors, I'll be disappointed, no cap. I think Par will be too.
Yeah, Par will be. Sure.
The thing about it is just there's evidence there, and like I was saying, if there are seeds planted, I'm gonna find it, right?
Yeah.
So in that line, right, that means that you won't be as surprised, right? A lot of these shock value things that we saw in Wano, they weren't shock value things to my viewers because they were just when Kaido pulled out the magma dragon, I literally had a video saying that I think we're gonna see someone with magma powers, like outside of Akainu. And then we saw that, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Whereas everyone else was like, what? Kaido magma dragon? What is this? And then
See, the magma dragon I would have believed more.
Right, and so
just because I'm like, yo, that's a possibility.
And with that concept, it's like there's a lot of other things that it's not that it takes away from the shock value surprise. It feels great too, like when you see that and you see it ahead of time and you're like, wow, that's crazy, right? But
you guys are gonna miss dinner and how crazy it's gonna be after this.
But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, Shandi. We got a super chat from Fig. It says, read my donation, boss. Fig, I know you donated earlier. It's lost. I can't find it now. Just comment what it is, and please, mods, just add us to find it so that I can just read it. You don't have to donate again. All right?
Yeah, please don't donate again.
Don't donate again, But just one of the mods, please find that comment, or if Fig just re-comment it, regular, no super chat, and one of you guys please just add us for it.
Yeah.
We also got a $5 super chat from Sir Hanader. It says, First time tuning in live, usually Spotify exclusive. Great episode to watch live.
Yo, literally, it's a great episode. Peter.
Oh man,
You got Par in rare form today.
Par was arguing.
Yeah, Par was arguing.
Post Reverie.
Yeah, Par
man.
definitely living up.
We got a $20 super chat from. Randy Troy was here. I didn't even noticed.
Oh, Randy Troy was here.
I'm so sorry.
I'm a mod Randy, bro. But it says we got a $20 super chat from Anthony Romero. It says, "What's good, guys? Loving the show. Keep it up. Question: with gear fit since Luffy wielded lightning, do you think he can make the surface of water rubber as well?"
If he imagines it. Yeah. I don't see why not. Par, I swear if you say no, I'm gonna throw you across the room, bro. I know you know it's true.
I mean, I was coming onto the show. I was gonna like, yo, what madness am I gonna bring? And, like, the madness I was gonna bring is that we're gonna see like underwater and space fights and stuff like that. And then, but like this is also, you know, pretty interesting.
I think 2 episodes ago we had a question that somebody was like, "Where do we go next with this?" And they were like, "In space."
Yeah.
Next
But
one.
thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
We got a $10 super chat from Captain J Subs. This is daily reminder that Buggy D Yonko, aka Buggy
Shut his
D
guy.
Goat, absolutely bang bang.
Listen,
Buggy
I think
gang,
you could have
man.
kept every super chat and bought yourself something nice. All right, Jay.
I want you to know that Randy was in here saying that Ussop and Koby will get Conqueror's Haki.
No.
Just know
My
that.
God.
Just know that.
That-
Hashtag savage.
Listen,
man.
no, hold on.
fucking go.
Randy's chain is on too tight today. That's all I'm saying. It's a little tight.
Born with a disposition to stand above others.
Listen, man.
No.
Randy Troy is spoken.
I hope Randy stayed through that whole thing. Out.
All right, we got another $10 super chat from Insatiable Hunger.
Thank you so much, Insatiable.
man. It
Much
says,
love.
in Dressrosa, the lion tamer was controlling people with just his voice. They couldn't fight against. They had no control. So could this be advanced conquerors at work?
We're talking
with
about
Koby to hashtag Code Geass.
Wait, is he talking about on Buggy's crew?
Yeah, lion tamer. It says in Dressrosa.
In Dressrosa.
I'm trying to remember that. But that could be a flashback from not flashback, but when they went out of Dressrosa.
I don't remember exactly, but there's a guy on Buggy's crew that is like literally like I might call him a devil seed user if we see him again, because his ability apparently, and we can't, there's no confirmation because all he has is this giant lion, which makes no sense that he can control because he's fodder. But his power apparently is he can control any animal just by talking to it. And that's crazier than Tama's power.
There are dog whisperers, right? Like,
That's
there
what
are
I was gonna
animal
say.
whisperers
That's
that
no,
can
but
just
like
talk
they
to
listen,
dogs.
like they can't refuse him. That's the thing. And so the funny
Django
part
exists.
Django exists too, but so that like if he comes back, he might be like a Tama counter because that's kind of wild.
There are no Tama counters, bro.
There are no
She's
Tama.
broken. But thank you so much. We
Thank
got
you.
a $10 super chat from Rexus D Inframpe. There's no comment.
All right, so if you guys are gonna like donate something, just say anything, like even through an emoji. I don't care. I just want you to be able to express yourself properly.
Thank you.
But
next
thank you
one.
so much. And then we got a $50 super chat from Jake Jacqueline's?
Jake
Glons?
ends.
I don't know. I can't say it.
What are you guys?
I think it's Jacqueline's.
Jacqueline's.
Or it
Thank
might
you.
be Jacqueline's. I don't know, but thank you so much. It
Thank
says,
you a lot for 50. Jesus.
Yeah.
It
Can we
says,
extend the episode?
it says, dude, I love this show after finding you guys. Here's a question. Do you think Shanks foreshadowed himself, sacrificing himself to Blackbeard for Luffy to unlock his final form, assuming we having seen all Zoan forms of Luffy?
Well, I think Par brought this up about having 6 gears within like a car.
No.
So maybe if he has another gear that will tap into another. But to be honest, I don't think I'm ready for another gear. I think I'm okay with just Gear 5 for now.
I forget who it was.
And I think the ending of it, I think Gear 5 is fine for me.
In my Discord, someone was saying, like, when you say Gear 6, it ends up sounding like Logia, like Gia, and then 6
Logia
is...
form?
Yeah, and then so it sounds like Logia. And then there's a lot of people say Gear 6. Even before Gear 5 came out, people were saying the card thing, and I was like, wow, that's really interesting. But to this thing, I think my take is that I foresee Shanks sacrificing himself for Buggy.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
That
was my question. So
I'm just gonna say real quick, I'm down for the extra gear 6, and I'm tired of people sacrificing their life for Luffy. I'm tired of it. I am. Just me personally.
Who's actually sacrificed their
like,
life for?
the whole thing's like Luffy's supposed to be like, I'm strong enough to take care of myself.
That wasn't for Luffy.
Personally, like if Luffy's supposed to be strong enough to take care of himself, people keep dying for him. When are you strong enough to take care of yourself? You know, me personally.
That just shows that just because you're a conqueror doesn't mean you don't need help.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
Yeah, I just don't think that it's story. I don't want it to become like Goku's transformations.
Oh, good.
Yeah, like I don't want more transformations to equal like power. I want the story to overall evolve the way it should, like how Dragon Ball was better than Dragon Ball Z. It's like use the power-ups when needed, but not to make just shit happen.
You didn't even watch Dragon Ball. Anyway, we have another $5 super chat from Ball D Cornell. It says, "Let my boy Mosh get a call for the one time he waited, haha. Par, I see the vision.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you. Top, y'all great. Keep it up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, bros.
Yeah, they don't stop.
Listen, if you guys don't stop super chatting, we're not gonna be able to get the calls.
Thank you, though.
Thank you.
There's so many.
I know.
Yo, can
Keep
you
going.
find Figs? I can't find it. It says, Peter Keenan, another $5 super chat. It says, Par, you're off on this Koby take, my guy. Do y'all think Zoro leaves Wano with a black blade? Ooh.
I feel like we always talk about everything, right?
Yeah.
I think that it would be nice if he got a new blade instead of Enma from Sukiyaki, which is Momo's grandfather.
I want Zoro to blacken all his blades, but I also want him to blacken a 12th blade.
Yeah.
Because I think that'll be a testament to his conquerors and Haki.
At the moment, too, I think it's important, with the Road to LaughTale and the last episode is on, we don't know how to make a black blade.
Very true.
At the minimum...
Onimaru was close to saying it.
Yeah, at the minimum, before we leave Wano, I need to know how. If we leave Wano without knowing how to make a black blade, that's going to upset me a little bit. And I don't know if I brought this up on thing, but Shusui probably isn't from Wano. Because we saw Oda personified all the swords
and what they looked like.
Wano Ichimonji looked like Kozuburo, and then the Kitetsu. I have a theory that it looked like the Amatsuki clan person. And what's interesting, those even without those connections, they look like they're from Wano.
And Shisui looked like a French.
Yeah, Shisui looked like McGuy from
like
the Whitebeard thing.
Yeah,
so he looked like he was European. So the black blade that we know isn't even from Wano apparently.
And I'll just add one more thing. It's just interesting in that Zoro just found out that Shisui of Ryuma's blade wasn't originally that color, that it was black. He just found it out. So that could lead to like him getting a further understanding of how to blacken a blade, because what Mihawk told him, and now that he's like, oh, you could permanently blacken a blade.
I think we might find out how on Wano. I don't think he's doing it on Wano.
Yo, this is my favorite episode with Par, bro. Because he's like one of us now. Yeah, he's one of us, yo. He acts so differently here than like on his streams, and I hope that like whoever's here from his streams is watching and like. This is amazing.
Yeah. We're like the Straw Hats that bring people. Like, you know how they kept getting sucked into
we actually got conquerors. You know?
How the Straw Hats kept changing law to get sucked into their thing.
We got another $20 super chat from Jacqueline's. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I don't know if you should do it.
Jack, that's
let's
$70.
Jacqueline?
Jake,
it's
$70, bro. Jesus, thank you.
Oh man, it says. Also, even though it's not confirmed, do you guys think Garp should have conquerors because he rivaled Roger? I think Sengoku is the only confirmed Marine. Maybe similar to Koby and Luffy if he doesn't. Personally, I don't think it matters for Garp. I think he's the exception to the rule where, you need conquerors to compete at this level. Yeah. I think he could knock a Kaido out even without advanced conquerors, but that's me.
Yeah.
It would be dope if he had it. I just always like that exception to the rule person in general, and Garp being that is dope because he's Luffy's grandpa and he's hero of the Marines.
I
and all
agree,
this stuff.
100%. I think Chinjao is the perfect person to use as an example that Sanji could beat Chinjao right now.
Yeah.
So. part.
Yeah, I mean, I think either way it's fine, but like I think if Garp did get conquers, it would be a little weird given his backstory that we know of so far, that he's kind of just status quo. You know, he's not willing to like ruffle feathers unless like he's put into the box for it, right?
1000%.
So it is a little interesting, but you know, it makes sense either way. It makes sense either way. 100%.
Law?
Same.
All right. Next one, Seb.
All right, we got a $10 super chat from the Onigiri guy. It says,
Thank you.
I'm leaving to go to the Navy in 2 days. I'm going to miss watching y'all every Monday. Keep it up so I have something to look forward to in the future. Wow, man, we got a real-life Marine in here.
Yeah, so my younger brother is actually going to the Marines as well. Well, the Navy or the Marines. It's one of the two.
Okay.
But he's leaving as well. So listen, man, congrats on your future journey, and I hope you get what you're looking for, bro.
Yeah, man.
Stay safe.
Make it
Yeah,
back
stay
here,
safe. Make it
and
back.
we going to be keeping it going for you, man.
Hey, thank you.
Next one. Jesus, guys. 7 minutes left. We can't get another call
All
now.
right, we got a $5 super chat from Insatiable Hunger.
Insatiable hunger, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man.
It says the Lion Tamer is a part of the Straw Hat fleet. He controlled Dofi's henchmen, had them drop their weapons, and bend the knee with just his voice. I don't remember this.
Wait,
I gotta
what?
check
Is
this
that
out.
filler?
Lion
I don't
Tamer's
remember
part of
this.
the
I don't remember this.
No,
either.
he's saying it's part of the
Orlumbus? Is it Orlumbus? No.
Bro,
Wait, he had the whip.
Wait,
With the whip.
it was in the in the tournament, right? There was someone in the tournament.
It would have to be.
I have to go back to Dressrosa because I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I was just
Lion
rereading
I'm
it.
glad you brought that up.
Because
I'm gonna go look.
Orlumbus had
Yeah.
the whip that he was like swapping.
Yeah, but he used it as an
Swapping.
attack. He would attack people with it.
I don't remember no singing going on.
All right. Anything
Thank you for that
else?
super chat. Now I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
thank
take
you
a
for
look
the
at that.
super chat.
Thank you.
Peter, I see a $4.99 without anything being said, bro. I'm gonna throw hands with you.
You guys know there's the number. You guys could call and send a super chat.
Oh man.
That's it though?
Yeah,
I
that's it.
think that's it.
All right.
Did they
Can you put the number back up? We're gonna be able to get one
more
call most likely. So, sumimasen.
Somebody find Fig's comment. guys.
Yes, please. Can you guys find Fig's comment as well?
I'm looking.
Sorry, Fig.
Yeah, apologies, Fig.
Oh, Randy Troy's here. Koby is a natural-born leader. He'll have conquerors. Zoro gets Blackblade after beating Mihawk.
No.
Both
I agree.
both takes I can agree with, Randy.
I won before.
I agree with
Hey,
that.
what's going on? This is Larry from that One Piece Talk. Who are you and how are you?
Oh shoot, I didn't realize I was gonna get through. Hold on, let me mute the stream.
Sounds like that.
It does sound like
funny.
that.
What's
Yeah,
up, man? What's your name?
This is Aton.
Okay.
I'm,
Okay.
mostly
Yeah,
active on
Anton.
our server.
Oh,
What's up,
Aton,
man?
what's up? This is what you sound like?
Yeah.
Damn.
You have a
Yeah.
nice voice, bro.
Thanks, appreciate it. But I've just been like mind blown listening to the conversation that y'all have had on the podcast because it kind of lines up with the theory that 3-Day and I have been working on.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that I had, because it kind of lines in with the theory, is do y'all think that it's possible we've misinterpreted the opening of Wano's borders?
In what context?
Yeah, you gotta explain that a little bit.
So
Like, there's a different
basically,
meaning.
the logic that I was using for the theory is that Pluton could be basically Wano, or is inside Wano, and opening the borders would imply that Pluton would be like unleashed into the world, basically.
Oof, that is good.
So activated?
Not activated,
Yeah.
but
Basically
more
perfect.
so less like able to be accessed.
So the only pushback I have on that at the moment is the world government shouldn't know about Pluton. So but the Gorosei guy, he was just like, if they open up their borders, right? If Zunisha was still there, and implying that he knew that Zunisha was required to open the borders, then he was saying something along the lines of, while they're closed, they're an you can't
Impenetrable.
Impenetrable.
Yeah, for sure.
Impenetrable.
What you thinking
fortress.
about, Car?
All right. So essentially, and that's what Kaido wanted Wano to be, right, as his fortress, and so if they knew that Pluton was the thing, you know, they would be happier because it sounded like they would have been happier if Zunisha opened the borders, right? They were like, oh, Momo's smart for not, or they don't know it's Momo, but they're smart for not opening the borders, right?
Yeah.
So in that line of logic, if they knew Pluton was on Wano, then they would not want the borders to be opened at all.
Yeah.
Right? So and then also, if they knew Wano was Pluton, then why Water 7? Why Frankie? Why all of that? Why get the blueprints? If they knew Wano was Pluton, that line of logic wouldn't necessarily make sense. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I don't think that the Gorosei know about Pluton on Wano.
I don't think that Aton was saying that. I think he was more or less saying, like, why would Wano want to open the borders to give access to Pluton, if I'm understanding it right? Because he was saying, like, maybe opening the borders means something else. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the government knows anything about it. He's just saying, like, Wano now gives the possibility for anybody to come in and access Wano, but also have control over Pluton.
Like, interact with it?
Yeah, if it is there.
Yeah, that's what's crazy, because I actually was looking at some panels of the, like, wording that they use, and I'm assuming in the theory that Zunisha would play a big part in opening the borders of Wano, and like it's kind of obvious that he does as well. So it would make a lot of sense if Pluton like is Wano, or is like say inside Wano, if he was to move those islands that are like say on top of Wano, then you could say that that's considered opening the borders of Wano, but we just interpreted it wrong.
I mean, that's happened in One Piece before, right? Where something was said and then it actually led to something else.
I do think the way Wano's citizens have acted towards outside forces also, like, bleeds into the other people need to be able to come and interact. Because, like, they were very discriminative of the Minks and the Fishman people and stuff, like, when they saw them.
Yeah.
So I think a part of it is, like, y'all have to coexist with these other people, too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I like the thought process of like it being something else, but I do think narratively, like it there is elements there where it's like, hey, we need y'all to be able to live with these other people too.
But
so
the only person that knows that the ancient weapon is there, isn't it Odin's father? I don't believe he told Odin or Momonosuke.
Well, Robin now.
And Robin,
and possibly Kaido. I don't know if he knows.
Kaido didn't know. He was looking for it.
Yeah, so I think
I'm telling
how
you,
goofy of a man! Like, we're gonna go get all the ancient, bro. You're sitting on one.
Like, no, but that's Kaido.
It's just that whole speech was just hilarious. It's just like this alliance is to get the ancient weapons. You have it. It's there. Like, it's so funny.
The guy you forgot about knows.
Yeah. So,
but Aton, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for being a fan of Par as well. He's definitely special. So thank you.
I love y'all's stream too, man. I've been a big fan. Just more active in Par's Discord, just because it's hard to handle two at once.
No, I get it. Yo, especially our Discord. We have a bunch of animals.
Your community is great, man. I love it.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
They said Par. They said when Par goes on top, he becomes evil Morge for real.
Well, listen, guys, we're not accepting any more calls. Randy Troy, if you're still inside the chat, come visit your boy on Mondays at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. But, yeah, I just want to say thank you, Par, for coming by again. Listen, you need no invite, bro. We know that. No invite is needed. Always welcome. If you guys want to find Par, you want to just say something?
Yeah, I mean, so thank you guys for having me. I always enjoy. I think it's a progression, right? I think I was more, when we first met on that first stream, right? Like, it was more timid. I was getting to know you guys. Now we're here.
Unleashed.
And there's no better place for this kind of conversation. It's a lot of fun, that's for sure. So if you guys, thank you guys for coming in and all the support, whether you're my viewers, their viewers, the incredible showing. If you guys want to catch more of my stuff, I've been a little bit inactive because the Reverie last Friday, Randy Troy was there too. It was hosted on JD Legends channel. But so regular version Parvision, Thursday, I have the knock-up stream where Oda knocks us up with the latest chapter, and we all Parvin different, bro. And then I got And then I got the watch parties on Saturdays for the latest episodes of One Piece. Those are my favorite streams because those a lot of fun, honestly. We end up talking a lot more about the manga and how it connects and like what's portrayed rather than the episode itself. But we do talk about the episodes. And then on Sundays, I'm doing the Voice of All Things streams, which is my theory crafting stream. And then so all of those get posted on my second channel, Parvision VODs. So if you can't catch it live, if you're international, whatever it is, it's on my second channel. On my main channel, Parvision, which will be linked in the description.
Yeah, all the links for Par, it's literally in the description.
So I'm putting up a bunch of theories. If you like some of the ideas here, again, again with the theories, it's more along to have fun, have ideas, share, be open-minded about it because Oda's open-minded, right? Like how many times have we been thrown a curveball? And it's not helpful if you create an idea and you're hard set on it. You're just gonna set yourself up for disappointment, right? So with that being said, if you want to have a good time, if you want to have smiles, like enjoy thinking, come to my channel for that. And our Discord servers are a great place to continue that. And then if you guys want to catch like outside of that, Larry's always streaming Apex at night on Twitch, and I'm usually there. And it's been low key, but a few more people to add some madness to the mix.
We definitely talk One Piece. Yeah. But again, I want to say thank you to everybody that listens to us audio only and also comes to watch us. Your donations have been super appreciated. I can't tell you enough how much we just feel blessed to be able to just talk to you and also give you a place to talk about One Piece, because I know a lot of people that talk to me always say, I have nobody to talk to. So please join Discord, Par's Discord, or join ours. Like the video if you can. If you want to subscribe, you can. If you want to do anything, if you want to get our merch, like this t-shirt, you can go to thatonepiecetalk.com/merch and just enjoy yourselves. And thank you for joining. So anyway, my name is Larry.
Lawrence.
Seb.
Parvision.
And this is That One Piece Talk. Everybody, have a good one. Jana.